interesting. Changing the layout a little bit. Yeah, trying to figure out the layout. Manic Monday, boys and girls. Cypriots, Greeks, Turks, Brits, whoever's interested in the Cyprus issue. Is a Cyprus agreement realistic in 2026? Join the discussion, 8 p.m, a little bit early. If you're here, get comfortable, give us some likes, give us a few shares. You know the drill, you know how it works, you know how TikTok works. We love TikTok, we love TikTok Shop, we love sharing our TikTok live with people, and TikTok doesn't restrict us, right? Nah, TikTok never restricts us. We have been every single time, but TikTok won't do it tonight, right? TikTok's good. Now that we got the TikTok stuff out the way, welcome everyone. Good evening. It's Monday, and it's another Cyprus Live. What would we do without these Cyprus Lives and these debates and these very passionate people talking politics, sometimes getting personal, sometimes going completely off topic. Well, most of the time we're completely off topic, but it's okay. We're all Cypriots, we're all Greeks and Turks and Brits, so I'm sure we'll find a way to get along and eventually come to the same conclusion that we're all exactly the same and we just speak different languages. So we'll give it a minute, guys, for the TikTok to go out. Or hopefully we'll start a debate. Telling me to go live for 105 minutes and I get a reward. Okay, cool. Thank you, TikTok. Better come through on that reward. Oh, thank you for the likes, guys. Much appreciated. Oh, that's you, Caucasian. Thank you very much, mate. You know how TikTok works, innit? If you don't get 10k likes, then they consider your live crap and they just leave it at the bottom of the pile. So thank you very much, mate. Let's get it boosted. Let's get it out to as many Greeks and Turks as possible. I'm going to get comfortable until the TikTok live goes out or until someone wants to say their piece. So not much news coming out of Cyprus, though. It's been quiet today. It's been quiet over the weekend. Nothing really happening, to be fair. Nothing really happening. There was a bit of unfinished business from last week with the Americans. Do we know if it's true? No, we don't really know the truth. But you know what? If there's a rumor, then you could probably expect a half-truth somewhere. There's a reason why it's been said. So maybe something has been said, but not officially. So I guess it still counts. BZ, okay, cool. You know what? Let's do some comment reading. Let's do some comment reading before it kicks off, because I'm pretty sure this live, for some reason, loves the algorithm and loves to go all over the world, to all Greeks and Turks all over the world, Australia, Canada, America, and obviously Greece and Cyprus and Turkey. So, okay, BZ, we need to stop saying Greeks and Turkish, just Cypriots. Yeah, we had that convo, I think, pretty much every time we do a live, we have this conversation. Unfortunately, the reality is that there are two communities in Cyprus. Yes, just like Ryoba, exactly what Ryoba said. There are two communities in the constitution and there's two official languages. I found out recently that English is not an official language in Cyprus. The only two actual official languages are Greek and Turkish. Obviously, everybody speaks English in Cyprus. It's kind of a official language, but not really on paper. So, yeah, exactly. There's two communities. And then, it's okay. It's fine to be Turkish. It's fine to be Greek. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think it's fine to call yourself whatever you feel like calling yourself. As long as, you have the word Cypriot in there, I think that's fine. I mean, I'm a British Cypriot, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I can call myself Greek Cypriot too if I really wanted to. It doesn't really make any difference to me at all. And I don't think it makes a difference to most Turkish Cypriots. So, well, BZ, you're not Greek or Turkish. You are just Cypriot. Yeah, okay. I mean, again, you can call yourself anything you feel comfortable with calling yourself. Technically, Cypriot is a nationality. It's not a race. It's not a language. It is a culture. But that's pretty much where it ends, unfortunately. You can call yourself Cypriot as a nationality. I'm Cypriot too as a nationality. But we do have different languages spoken in Cyprus, and we have to take into consideration all the languages. We always talk about Greek and Turkish, but there is a lot more than Greek and Turkish. There's 100,000 plus English people living in Cyprus too. But I am British, Turkish, Cypriot. See, that's a mouthful, but you know what? If you're comfortable with saying that, go ahead. I could probably say I'm a British Greek Cypriot, but it depends what you're comfortable with, and everyone should be happy with what they want to call themselves, right? It doesn't really make a difference. And we're talking on a political level now. If you want to call yourself Cypriot, that's absolutely fine. I don't see people saying I am Greek English or Pakistani English. Well, you're going to have to speak to them, BZ. You're going to have to speak to them about that because, I'm talking on a personal level. I don't speak for every Greek Cypriot, obviously, because, again, even the diaspora Greek Cypriots are slightly different to the Greek Cypriots in Cyprus. They might have a different view. But, does it really matter? Does it really matter what you call yourself at the end of the day? What difference will it make, BZ, if you called yourself a Cypriot or a Greek Cypriot? What difference does it make for you? Damn, that got to 1,000 that got to 1,000 likes quite quickly. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Caucasian Asian. Thank you, guys. That's really good. Alex, be up in a few minutes there. No pressure, man. Take your time, bro. It would help. What's that? Scrolling up quite quickly now. It would help to allow equal identity, equality in identification. I don't know what you mean though by that. Equality in identification. Technically, you could be a Cypriot citizen, yes, but when you go home or when you go to the coffee shop, you can call yourself pretty much anything you want, right? Because Cypriot is just an identity. It's a passport, It's like being British. It covers everyone. Think of it as covering everyone. Like what you are, what your race is, where you come from, where your ancestors come from, it's different. You can assimilate to being Cypriot, but again, until we have, we always talk about this on pretty much every single live, until we have a Cypriot language, which we can't have, until we have a common religion, let's say, we're going to create a new religion just for Cypriots, so that will include everybody under one umbrella. We can't do that, so. By the way, I am, okay, you're a Greek culture Cypriot. Okay, that's good. You didn't have to identify if you didn't want to, but yeah, we have got a spoken language, which is either Greek or Turkish or English or Russian or whatever. So absolutely nothing wrong with that, BZ. JL in the house. Now it's a party. JL's here, guys. We should all worship the Fugu, new religion pending. You know what? I reckon you can get at least 90% of all Greeks and Turkish Cypriot behind that, bro. So sign me up. I'm back in that movement all day long. I suppose the majority language is the national language. I don't know. I guess the majority language right now on the island is actually equal. We have equal Greeks and Turks, I guess, on the island, if you see it as a whole. But believe it or not, there is actually, I'm talking for the Greek Cypriots, there is more Greek Cypriots in the diaspora than there is in Cyprus. So what do we say to those guys, right? It's kind of chilly tonight, I can't lie. Turkish kebabs are not better than Greek kebabs. I cannot agree with that. BZ, no. Here's how it goes for me in kebabs and Turks. Don't get offended. It's Greek, it's Suvlan Suvlagi, then it's the Iranian kubi there. You guys need to try that. And then it's the Turkish one. It's hit and miss with the Turkish kebabs. You'll find really decent ones, but then you'll find ones that are just chewy. I would say third place for the Turks on the kebabs. Sorry. No offense to any Turks, but it's third place for me, man. JL, you're saying schools to teach both Greek and Turkish. They already teach Russian, so why not Turkish? There is a few schools already doing that, although they're private at the moment. I agree. It should be a language that should be taught on both sides, and I'm sure that slowly, once we get a solution, we'll start seeing schools. Maybe start with optional. Maybe make it optional. Maybe have a fund in the government that will pay the school or the teachers or the education system to allow for a new, let's call it a new module, which would allow to teach Turkish, or for the North to allow to teach Greek. Oh, wow. Okay, JL. You're saying that you think Greek suvlan, then Turkish shish is better than suvlagi. You sure you're Gabriel, bro? You gotta do a DNA test, man. I want to see that DNA test. Nah, I'm just joking. Suvla is nice. Lamb suvla is lovely on a Sunday. But I do love my suvlagi. If it's done right, if you eat suvlagi correctly and it's cooked correctly, you'll be fine. Why are we talking about suvlagi anyway? I'm getting hungry. Let's get back to Cyprus. Gostandinos is saying, yes, it is. Give me a bit more context, bro. I don't know where, which part it is. Are you saying suvla is better than suvlagi as well? No, I'm talking about the puk suvlagi. Yeah, I'm talking about the bita suvlagi, the mix. I'm not talking about the Greek suvlagi, which is on a little stick. What kind of suvlagi is on a stick? Come on. Yeah, the marinade is good. The marinade is good. All right, let's turn this into a. Let's get back to Cyprus, or keep talking about food. Actually, it's up to you guys. Yeah, I am getting hungry though, Gostandino. So okay, fine. Let's carry on. Chef Dayan, pork suvlagia are mint, but I was talking about the solution. Okay. Thank you. So you're saying about the solution? Yes, it is. Is an agreement realistic in 2026? Well, you tell me how. How is it realistic in 2026? And I see you're coming up nice and early, unless you requested by accident. Great to hear from you. If that wasn't an accident, tap the button anytime you want. Mr. Luke Patel, I'm in Cyprus now and just had a gyros. Can't beat it. You know what? The best gyros is not in Cyprus, Luke. The best gyros are in Greece. 100%. Athens, hands down. Actually, you know what? I lie. Santorini, for me, was one of the best gyros I ever had. Cyprus, not really good at gyros, I'll be honest. They're good, but they're not the best. Yeah, Theo, exactly. JL's a traitor, man. Definitely. Come on, JL. You know what? Doing this live right now, talking to myself, reminds me of when I was running my bar in Limassol. I used to do these silly little lives, not a politic live, just a silly live where I'll point the camera onto the traffic at the bar and literally just watch the traffic go by. No wonder I closed it down. I don't know what I was doing. Why is nobody joining the panel? It's a bit early, JL. People like to get comfortable. It's a Monday night. People working. Give it a minute. Or if you want to come up, you're more than welcome. But don't worry, you know how this works. It's quiet in the beginning, and then we start getting people up, and it starts getting heated. So give it a chance, my young friend. Ishmael. Ishi?
Yes. Who's that?
Oh, it's me. I am me.
Who's it?
I am me.
North.
No.
Oh,
South. How are you doing, mate? You alright?
all right. Yeah.
Yeah? I'm guessing you're Turkish Cypriot.
Yes.
Interesting. What are you thinking?
Is that that's my brother-in-law.
Where?
Not me.
Next to me.
Was that Alex? Alex, your brother-in-law?
I ain't his
Alex.
brother.
Oh, I'm confused, man. So what's up? Are you Turkish Cypriot?
Oh,
Alex.
yes,
Alex, I think that's your brother-in-law, bro.
that's
No, my
mate. I
brother-in-law's
don't know
next
this
to me.
geezer. I've never seen this geezer in my life.
He's claiming you're his brother-in-law, so I don't know, man.
You don't look very English to me.
He changed his name, innit?
Colin, is that you?
He does look a bit like a Colin, to be fair. It's Colin with a bit of a tan. Colin in Iron Apple for a few weeks.
Exactly.
So what are you thinking? Cyprus problem. What do you want to see, man?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I'm not getting involved in politics.
What about the people?
What? People over there?
Yeah.
Listen, mate.
Do you think they'll? Do you think they get along? Do you think they
Listen,
like each other?
as long as Israel's there, it's their security. Cyprus is their security. That's why we've had all these problems, yeah? That's my view. And I lived in it in the 60s and 70s.
What's Israel done to you, man? What's Israel done to us?
No,
They've not done anything.
no, Israel hasn't done anything. But this Cyprus problem relates to that. If you know the history, Cyprus is the escape route.
What do you mean? I've never heard that before. Sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Cyprus is the escape route of Israel. Why do you think we're having so much problems? First of all is Israel. Second is the region.
Okay.
And that's
So
why Britain had bases there in they rented this place years ago.
I'm guessing you're Turkish Cypriot, right?
They rented it. Yeah. Britain rented this place.
No, I know. Yeah, I mean, it was leased to the Ottomans. I mean, the Ottomans leased it to the Brits, no?
That's right. And when they were going to give it up, they handed it over to whoever was the most people there.
The problem is up to now they haven't paid a penny for it.
Yes. They haven't
that's
even
right.
paid any money.
Oh, you're talking about these
Anyway, I don't want to go
sovereign
into it, man,
bases.
because I'm not a politician.
No, none of us are.
don't
None
wanna
of us are. We're just talking.
I know.
So Alex,
Yeah.
Alex below you, he's a Turkish Cypriot. You're a Turkish Cypriot, and I'm a Greek Cypriot. So
I'm his brother-in-law there.
yeah, exactly. You already know Alex, but I'm just reintroducing him to you. He's Turkish Cypriot, I'm Greek Cypriot, and usually we
Where's the
get
bride?
Greeks.
Where's the bride? Can I see a picture?
Wait, maybe it's your bride. Maybe he's your brother-in-law.
Oh, I need to see the picture. Oh, yeah, you can have my sister. I don't like her. It's fine.
We need to get to the bottom of that. We need to figure out if you're related or not. But anyway,
Yeah.
what Alex? You good?
Yeah, all good, man.
Yeah.
I've been married on
It's a
years.
manic Monday.
Okay, no.
Yeah, it's a manic Monday. What's that noise in the background? Is someone listening to music?
I think so. I think Memsy's having a party.
Mems, I'm gonna mute you. You must be drinking too much Gil right now. Do the Turkish Cypriots drink Gil, by the way? Oh, hi Gogos, you good? Sorry, just saw the comments.
Yeah, some do. I do.
Oh, Rebel. What is there a Turkish Cypriot beer? By any chance?
Efes.
Oh, is that Turkish or Turkish?
Oh no, that's the one that they drink. So they've adopted it from Turkey, I'd say.
Ah, okay. You ain't got your own one.
Not that I know of, no. Unless someone wants to correct me, Memsy or anyone in the comments.
Memsy, Gil all the way. Yeah, Luke Patel knows. Luke Patel, I'm guessing you're a British Cypriot. You said you're living in Cyprus. That might be interesting to hear your view as well, man. Come on up.
Luke's been up before.
Was he?
A while ago, yeah, he's been up.
Don't remember Luke. What's he? So he's living in.
I think he was half. I think he's got, obviously with the last name, I think Indian, if I remember. And then he was on holiday in Cyprus when we first met him. And he'd come back to the UK.
Yeah, I didn't want to assume.
I don't remember if it was your live or my live, but he's definitely been up before.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. Oh, okay, his grandparents are Greek. Interesting.
I actually want to know if there is a Turkish Cypriot beer now.
Yeah, I mean, if not, you lot can have Gior.
Because all I know is Efes. Everyone just drinks Efes, and it depends for me wherever I go. If I go to a Turkish restaurant, I'll drink Efes. If I go to a Greek restaurant, I'll drink Gior. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the other one? Mythos? Mythos,
That's from Greece.
I don't mind a bit of Mythos. I have Mythos sometimes when I go to Greek restaurants.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not a beer drinker, but I do like Gior. It's smooth, it's decent.
It's nice.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm being biased though.
I like, so my beer, I either like it in a bottle or on the tap. I prefer it on the tap. Bottle's second best. I mean, I don't really like canned beer. Oh, horrible.
Yeah, man. I had George is talking about Leon. Obviously, I had Leon, Carlsberg. Technically they're not Cypriot beers, but they are made
The
in Cyprus.
biggest drink in the north outside of Efes that gets drunk. And I think, you know what? This drink even probably trumps Efes for Turkish Cypriots. It's Heineken.
Really?
Big green bottles of Heineken. That's
Bro,
what
there's
people drink.
literally a Carlsberg, what do you call it? A Carlsberg warehouse. I don't know if it's still there. I don't know if it still exists. I heard rumors that it closed down, but they literally make the Carlsberg I think it's in Nicosia, somewhere just outside Nicosia.
Know that. So I'd say Carlsberg, Heineken, sorry, is a very, very popular drink in the north. Very popular beer.
All right, okay. Let's go. Let's move on. Do you want to talk politics?
Yeah, let's go.
Anything new?
No, nothing new, but I don't think we covered the talks.
You mentioned that. What talks were you talking about? The American.
You know the points that they made to each other when they both met. The leaders met.
Okay,
Obviously, the ROC rejected a few of his points.
Yeah, but America agreed with it. Yeah.
Well, it's not been proven yet. Obviously, it was an article written by a Turk, and it was published in the Cyprus Mail and the Kıbrıs Postası, which is like another newspaper. I haven't heard anything else on it, to be honest with you, in the Western media. But despite that, my own opinion on it is I don't think rotating presidency is a bad thing. Because I hear a lot of people on these lives say, oh, the 1960s constitution was set up to fail. Makarios was forced to sign it.
But I kind of agree with you, Alex, but then we've got a different problem. If we were going to do rotating presidency, who goes first?
Who goes first?
That's going to be a problem from day one, right?
Who goes first?
Who goes first? Who's the first president on the rotation?
Look, that side of it, I don't know, and I can't give you an answer how they would come to that conclusion. But I can.
Most likely it'd be the Greeks, right?
Yeah, because I'd say because they're the majority, and okay, that's fair. I can swing for that. But the ROC and its people need to understand that rotating presidency is key.
George wants to flip a coin, Alex. I don't know if you call that.
Yeah, we could flip a coin, and I'll explain why. It's nothing to do with numbers. Like, it's nothing to do with feeling superior for Turkish Cypriots. I think it's better for everyone as a safety, because if there isn't the rotating presidency on the table, it just literally spells out what Turkish Cypriots have been saying for 60 plus years about it being equals, and the numbers shouldn't come into it. Like saying, oh, you're only 18% or 30% of the current population, blah, 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 blah. That's why we're in this mess now, because it forms division. If you want to say we're all brothers and sisters and we're all Cypriots, whoever is a Cypriot, it shouldn't be an issue. Rotating presidency should be standard. And without it, I feel that it's going to cause a divide and it's going to cause a problem further down the line. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Well, I've got something that I've been thinking about today, and it's a little bit off topic, but you know how we always talk about the Turkish Cypriots being trapped and isolated and not being able to leave the area? I mean, I think the settlers, aka the Cypriots who were born to settler families, are in a much worse situation than the Turkish Cypriots. They can't leave the country at all, apart from Turkey. At least the Turkish Cypriot could, as you know, how many, 20,000 of them every day, apparently, cross over with a Cypriot ID.
No, I agree.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for them. I mean, you guys are, no offense, you've got some freedom if you wanted.
But to be honest with you, bro, you shouldn't feel too bad, because they made that decision to come there. They got incentivized by the governments at the time. They came there. They knew what they were signing up for.
Let's say the grandparents did.
Yeah, but the kids are collateral, unfortunately, from the decision that their parents made.
There's probably 2 generations there now that have been born in Cyprus to settler families, right? At least. That don't know any better.
But again, I reiterate, it's what the decisions that their parents and grandparents have made, and
it's a shame.
It's tough luck. I mean,
it's tough luck. It's a shame.
You come into a situation where the island's divided, and the way it was divided, what do you expect? I mean, look, Turkish Cypriots and Turks from the mainland that have integrated marriages, they're fine now. I mean, that got passed in the EU, and they're being acknowledged as Cypriots. But unfortunately, the ones that haven't integrated, just because you've lived there, they're not going to get that citizenship and the recognition that they want from the ROC.
It's a tough one, Alex, because we get a lot of Greek Cypriots saying if you're born in Cyprus, it makes you a Cypriot. So what does it make the, Turkish settlers' kids that are born in Cyprus? Are they not Cypriot? This is
it's
tough.
tough.
I think that's going to be the hardest part for us to solve before anything, to be honest, because there's a huge amount of them now.
Yeah,
is it double the Turkish Cypriot population?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. It is a tough one because for example, you've got Kara. I think Kara falls into that bracket. And
there's a lot of Karas now.
Yeah, there is.
Spoken to a few.
Yeah, there is. I think the only answer to that, mate, is going to have to be a cut-off. I suppose if they've come within the last 5-10 years
Greek
before
Cypriots won't like that.
Then what do you do? It's got to be a compromise, though, bro. You know what I mean? It's a tough one, isn't it? I don't know. The only thing I can suggest, and even that's going to be tough on everyone, because it's going to be tough on the people that are going to be said, like, you're going to have to say no, even though they've been there for X amount of years. I don't know what that cut-off date would be, but then even that's still going to piss Greek Cypriots off, and it's not going to be good enough. So
I don't know if there's any Greek Cypriots in the chat or if they want to come up, but I'd ask the Greek Cypriots, would they be happy if the settlers got not a passport, but if they got a residency and indefinite leave to remain, like they would do in the UK? I wonder if they'd be happy with that.
It's going to have to be a compromise, bro.
I wonder if they'd be happy with that.
Give back certain parts of the island. I think the suggestion was to accept as much as the analogy will.
Yeah, but when I hear Greek Cypriots say give back Varosha, well, it's tough, right? Because wasn't Varosha also slightly mixed before 74? Yeah. So who are we giving it back to? Who are we giving it back to? It doesn't make sense when we say that. A lot of questions, Alex, man. A lot of questions.
I mean, with all these issues that are going to be tough to solve, isn't it just easier to just leave the status quo the way it is and then just say, look, right, because you're recognising the Turkish Cypriots, I won't say TRNC, the Turkish Cypriots, once the Turkish Cypriots can become strong enough on their own, they won't be reliant on Turkey because they'll be functioning as their own state within the island of Cyprus. That will get rid of the soldiers from Turkey and the influence from Turkey. So that solves that psychological thing of having soldiers on the island. Because I hear a lot of Greek Cypriots saying, for me, it's the soldiers on the island. I don't like it. That's why I want a solution. Because I scratch my head all the time. And I try and think, why does the ROC want a solution like a BBF? What are they actually really benefiting from it? Because when we speak about subjects and topics, these problems that always arise, they're head scratchers that you can't fix, and you're never going to please the majority. Like this settler issue, for example, that's another problem. The property issue, that's another problem. The joint military under a BBF, that's another problem. The integration of services and police and hospitals, how do we know that's going to go smoothly? Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of complications that I just can't see being solved in a functioning BBF, because it's clear after 50 years, Greeks and Turks alike still have different views on Cyprus. I mean, we make progress on these lives. We speak a lot of hypotheticals and we say we're brothers and sisters and whatnot. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, do you really think that the two communities will be okay under a BBF? We can't even agree how a rotating presidency will get voted in. Can't even agree to have a rotating president. See what I mean? See all these obstacles. I don't know, right? For me, I just think the status quo just makes a lot more sense. It's proven. The borders have been open for 20 plus years with minimal incidents. I mean, with a recognition of the Turkish Cypriot people, I think keeping it the way it is would be the most logical scenario based on the last 50 years. I don't know. And I'm not saying I want that. I'm basing this on practicality and the the way it is now, and it seems to be working. You know, in my ideal world, I'd like, a solution for everyone, a solution where we are reunited and go back to the good old days before all of the troubles. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking shit. I don't know.
Nah,
You
no
never talk
chance
shit,
of
man.
that.
Yeah.
Never, bro.
You
Not
speak the
you.
most sense. He speaks the most sense. Don't we agree?
You know what it is?
Out of everyone, yeah. Go on, Mike.
We go round and round in circles, yeah. You can't have what you want, and we can't have what we want. That's the fact of the matter. We want a complete one state. You guys want a two state. The only answer is, even though I know we're gonna get dragged there kicking and screaming, is a BBS. That's the only viable solution that we've got. Because we're never going to accept a two state. You guys are never going to accept being a one state. We have to meet in the middle. It's so simple to people that can see it. It's the only place we can meet, but it's all the obstacles we got in the way. Now, me personally, Greeks were going to want to kill me in the comments, but I wouldn't be opposed to settling on a two state. If we can make a good deal, get the refugees a settlement, maybe get 10% landmass back. Let me not say 15, that's taking the piss. But get Varosha. If someone wants Varoshi back, then get Varoshi back, then I'd be willing to.
Michael, what's the thinking behind this Varosha thing? Because everyone
it's the
says
best
give it back
speech.
to the
Can
Greeks.
I interject
the
with
best
that?
speech.
I agree with Michael because if you look at the total land mass at the moment with the division, I think the North holds 37.5%. But pre-74, if you look at all of the land registry and whatnot, I think Turkish Cypriots collectively owned about 28.5 or 28.7. Now, if they were to give Varosi back under this two-state thing, it would bring the total landmass pre-74 back to what it was.
Yeah.
Who owned what? Obviously scattered. Before it was scattered all over the island, but now you're collectively dividing it between north and south. But the point is, with what Michael's saying, if you do handpack Varosi, the land is owned correctly to the percentage pre-74.
But you know what it is, Alex? You know why I don't ever bring it up? Because I know the Greek Cypriot people are never, ever, ever. If ever you say, okay, how about we negotiate a two-state and negotiate some landmass back and a settlement for the refugees, they'll bite your head off. And I'm just being honest.
Never be enough either, will it?
That's why I don't even bother saying about a two-state, because I know that my people are never, ever, 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 ever going to go for it. So I don't even bother bringing it up.
But this is why I said this, Michael. This is why I said, isn't it easier to just leave the status quo the way it is, recognize the TRNC, because then Turkey will have to leave, because the TRNC will be its own state within the island of Cyprus. It will make its own deals. It will prosper on its own. It will have the influence from Turkey would go, and then it's pretty much problem solved. Because why would you want to inherit all these so-called settlers that Greek Cypriots dislike? You want them to go back, but they're not going anywhere. These people are going to stay.
The legitimate stance that we take on that is that we're going to accept the settlers, and I think any open-minded Greek Cypriot knows that we're going to accept the settlers. You can't even call them settlers anymore. If they were born there after the war and they're living in a house, they haven't done anything wrong.
True, Michael.
But why would you though? Why would you not just keep it like that, and then you don't have to inherit that problem? The ROC at the moment is flourishing.
I'm selfish. Listen, I don't care about Greeks or Turks. I think about the island. Forget Greeks and Turks for a minute. I think about the island, and I think the island, she deserves to be one. That's what I think personally. Nothing to do with Greeks. Like Greeks and Turks, just the people that live there. End of the day,
for that to happen, you're going to need a lot of bending on the ROC side, if I'm honest. And they're not going to bend.
Stance. If I could talk to the higher up, they've got their stance and we're not bending and we're not folding. In a way, I respect it. I understand it. They're not going to bend on this. They're not going to bend on that. They're not going to negotiate a two-state. They're not going to negotiate recognition of the TRNC. So they're stubborn as well. That's why I've said the only way it's going to happen if they get dragged, kicking or screaming. Unless they get their way. And that's why I said it's even good that they're offering a BBF, because at least they're showing a little bit of willingness.
Yeah, but Michael, the BBF is being set up to fail. If you ain't got rotating presidency, you're back to the same agreement from 1960. I don't know about,
because the last proposal was a rotating presidency, 4 years Greek, 2 years Turkish Cypriot. That was the last.
Yeah, that's off the table. That's what I mean. Erdogan made that one of his key points when he spoke to Christodoulos last week, and they're refusing to acknowledge a rotating presidency. For me, for the way I see it is, I don't asking for rotating presidency of the Turkish Cypriot isn't about power. It's just about being equal. Turkish Cypriots always feel that they've never been made to feel equal co-founders of the ROC, the Republic of Cyprus, under the 1960 constitution. So to be told no to a rotating presidency, that just tells me we're more superior to you. We've got
Just
more in
one-way
numbers,
traffic,
but
isn't it? Good
it's
evening.
not
Yeah.
about numbers, bro. You have to
I'll be
say.
honest, I'm not up to date with it. So if that's what they're saying now, I don't agree. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do agree setting up a government based on race and ethnicity, but that's the road that Cyprus has to go to start off with. But I would like them to say, all right, we're going to do this rotating presidency and power share. We're going to do this for 30 years. And then I would like to think in 20, 30 years, a Greek Cypriot would vote for a Turkish Cypriot prime minister or vice versa. I would like to think the race thing is going to go away, but we have to start off like that. And I agree. It's got to be a rotating president.
I mean, that's the problem, and that's all Turkish Cypriots have been saying for the past 60 years. Take Turkey out of it. Take 1974 out of it. Some people see it as an intervention. Some people see it as an invasion. I don't care about that. 74 happened. It's brought us to where we are. I'm going back to what brought us to be divided between our communities before Turkey came. And what that was is literally what we're speaking about now. No equality, no equalness, being treated as a minority. We need to learn from the past. And if we're going to go into a BBF, which I'm all up for, we have to learn from before what didn't work. Because if we go into a BBF with this sort of mindset, it's going to fail again. That's the problem.
You know what really destroyed Cyprus? And this is something that everyone seems... What destroyed Cyprus was the emergence of nation states. Before, we didn't have nation states, and it wasn't... That's why the people in Cyprus got along for 300-400 years. But when Turkey emerged, when Greece emerged, when the motherlands emerged, that's what caused the issues. When really,
this is what I mean, though. The comments like this from Thanos, look, Turkish Cypriots... Where is it? Hold on, I've just pressed them. Turkish Cypriots need to be in the government, but it's not for a minority to lead. The word minority shouldn't come into it. Just because your numbers are slightly higher now, or even then, it doesn't matter. We're all supposedly brothers and sisters and Cypriots. This is my point. That mindset needs to change. If you want a solution on the island and us to live as all Cypriots, the word minority needs to be dropped. And it needs to be we're all Cypriot and we're all functioning as Cypriots, and it's not you against us. It's not a competition. That's the problem. Because Turkish Cypriots have been on that island for years. And yes, I know Greeks have been on that island for over 3,000 years, but Turks have been on that island for 500-600 years. So they've earned that right to be there generation upon generation. And you can't put numbers into it, and that's the problem.
This is going to hurt Greeks, but they fought for it and they conquered it, just like all the other empires, just like the Greeks. So, all right, it might have been more recent. Greeks have been there thousands of years, but at the end of the day, the Greeks were there thousands of years, but the leadership changed how many blooming times? 13, 14 times the leadership changed? The Egyptians, the Venetians, the Persians, the Romans, the Byzantines.
When Greek Cypriots and the ROCs can wrap their head around a rotating president, and there's going to be that time that you're going to have a Turkish Cypriot as president of the country, then that's when we're going to be okay. If you can't get your head around that, then you need to get your head around the status quo being the same and leaving it that way. That's it. Because there's no point trying to go into a BBF with that mindset of you're superior to Turkish Cypriots, because we will just end up the same as 74. I'm sorry.
Could I just ask something? It's just slightly off topic, but I just want to clarify something. The Somaliland, has that been internationally recognised now?
No.
It hasn't?
Only by iCountry.
Okay. All right. It's just a trail of thought I had, but then that blows that out of the water, so it's not worth mentioning.
I don't know the story very well about Somaliland, but some little things I read said that Somaliland was first, and then Somalia. I'm not sure, something like this. So it's not
Alaikum assalam, Rahmatullah.
Thanos, why don't you come up?
Free Palestine.
Are they different religions, Somaliland and Somalis? Are they different
No, they're
religions?
different tribes. They're different ethnicities.
They're different ethnicities. Okay.
Yeah. Somaliland is like, you know, that Chunks and what's that girl's name that goes out with Stormzy? Fucking
Can we bring it
Maya
back to
Jama.
presenter.
Cyprus? I don't care about
Yeah.
Somaliland. I'm just
Big up
being
the
straight.
Somalians, bro.
Oh, fucking Somaliland. Oh, Cyprus.
Cyprus is a messy divorce, and the ex-partners can never agree. That's unfortunately what it is. You know, people need to have a bit of an open mind, but I think there is naturally going to be more open mind on the Turkish side because, you know, they're the ones who are living in oppression, let's say. But Greek Cypriots are stubborn, man. They're stubborn, so I don't know what to
Yeah,
say.
but they run the risk, Michael, of eventually someone doing the inevitable and recognizing the TRNC, and
Oh,
then the negotiating is going to be taken out of their hand to get something settled.
that's my prediction, though, Alex. That's what if you remember, that's what my genuine prediction is. Another 70, 80 years, and they'll get dragged into a two-state kicking and screaming.
Yeah,
Because
and another thing, Michael, I keep hearing about United Nations resolution this, United Nations resolution that, international law. But let me tell you something. All of that
This
at the
is not
moment,
time for
all of that
legalities.
now at the moment means jack shit. Because for the past 2 years, the I country has been literally doing everything
Yeah, but you
wrong.
used to talk about Cyprus, Alex. Now you're running to Israel.
Bruv,
Like,
shut up, bruv. I'm making a point. I'm bringing
yeah,
it back. It's all
without
linked
going
into
outside of
Cyprus.
Cyprus. Is
It's
it?
linked
Oh,
into Cyprus.
but the same way
Oh my
Somaliland
God,
is
can I
though.
finish before I lose my chain of thought?
Oh, there's a fault here, is there?
Well, yes, because the point I'm trying to make is the I country has breached United Nations resolutions God knows how many times. The United Nations done fuck all, so it makes a mockery of the United Nations. The EU has turned a blind eye and done fuck all. And now Donald Trump has hijacked a president of a country. I don't care if this guy's a bad guy or not. You do not do what you do under international law. You do not go to a country and arrest a president and put him in jail for your own good. That makes a mockery of international law. So my point is, when I'm on these lives every other day, all I hear is, but under international law, Turkey's done this. Under international law, Cyprus has done this. Under United Resolution, you're wrong. It's condoned. That's my point. Those
Yeah, but
organisations have
you're
become a
failing.
mockery.
Listen, Alex, you're failing to recognise where it goes in their favour and where it goes against them. That's the dividing line, isn't it? Really and truly, when it goes in their favour, they don't mind throwing their own laws out the window.
it's
That's the
hypocrisy,
point.
yeah. Definitely, it's hypocrisy.
But in Cyprus, that's not the situation. In Cyprus, they want to maintain international law. It's all set up for them.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying when the inevitable happens and someone does recognise the TRNC, all of those claims of international law and this and that, with all these precedents being set all over the world, especially the I country who did recently recognise the breakaway state, i.e. Somalia, a week after making a pact with Greece and Cyprus, that's another mockery.
Well, there was, for a long time, don't forget, you know, there was a lot of rumours going around that, you know, back in the day, that our country were going to be the first country to recognise Northern Cyprus. So,
It could have gone that way. It could have gone that way.
It's hypocrisy, man, because end of the day, you know, what we're UN resolutions and what we're accusing Turkey of, and then we're in bed with someone who don't give a shit about UN resolutions. So it's hypocrisy. We spoke about this last time, so it's not looking good.
No, it's not. That's what I'm saying. Like, there needs to be compromise. I mean, like I said, look, from an ROC's perspective, the day that you recognise Turkish Cypriots as equal and you allow rotating presidencies and you don't see that as an issue, and your first thought is, yeah, of course, they're fellow Cypriots, not, oh no, we can't have that because we're the majority and they're a minority. When that mindset changes, we'll make progress. Until that doesn't change, unfortunately, under a BBF, it's never going to work because it's going to be set up to fail. It's going to fail again within 10 years because that mindset is what is going to make it fail.
I don't think it'd last 10 years, to be honest.
You see where you guys have suffered the oppression for the last 50 years. we've got a taste of freedom, what it's like to run our own country. We're basically a Greece light. We get to be associated with them, make our own decisions, and they've really enjoyed the power. That's what it is. They've got, if anything, the power's gone to their brain. They're like, you know what, this is nice. We're our own second independent Greek state, and we're running our affairs, and we're better off than those fools in Athens, and then they're like, oh, but now we've got to share the
All right,
power.
so Michael, given that situation, what's the incentive on the GC side to move towards a settlement and an agreement?
I don't think they're that fussed about the land. I think the refugees care about the land. I think the average guy in Cyprus who's got no land on that side, they'll say, I still was in there. Leave it
So
as it is.
you're saying that one side's playing for a stalemate, they're playing for a draw. Like they don't care, that they want to keep it how it is because it
What
suits
the
them.
Greek Cypriots want truly is they want it to all go their way, Turkey to go back, for them to sign up to their way.
So if you accept, Michael, let's go step by step. If you accept that the main incentive towards a peace understanding with the Turkish Cypriots is to get rid of Turkey's big foot on their neck, then you can understand when you lot say, we're all equally as Cypriot, that's just, you're just gaslighting us basically. Like you don't really think that. You're just saying that to get rid of Turkey.
Exactly.
Is that what I'm saying, Michael?
Exactly, Caucasian. And I made a point earlier because I hear a lot of people on these lives saying, because I've asked people point blank, what are you actually
What are you
gaining from the
putting in the chat? Apologies
for
telling you to shut up.
Well, yeah, because I was mid-thought that time and I shouldn't have said what I said. I should
Don't
have just
worry,
said,
man.
finish.
Don't worry, man. I'm not fucking snowflake out here. I
don't normally act like that. That's why I was a bit surprised.
I didn't think you meant it like that anyway.
No, I'm glad you didn't take it that way because it was definitely not meant that way. I've asked Greek Cypriots point blank and I've said, look, what do you think you're going to gain from a BBF? Like I've said, I've scratched my head a lot and I'm thinking, what does the ROC really gain from a BBF? And some people will say it's a reunification thing. They want to see the island reunited. Okay, I can swing for that.
Alex, let me tell you how I see it.
Go on.
They want, it's like, do you know when you tell your wife at home, babe, we're 50-50, everything's 50-50. But when you go outside in the real world, you don't want your wife arguing with you every time you open your mouth and saying the opposite opinion to you. So that's why it's really, you're saying it's 50-50, but it's 51-49, right? So that's what they want. The Turkish Cypriots at home, they don't mind giving us 50-50, but on an international level, when decisions need to be made, are we going towards Turkey's plan for the future or Israel's plan for the future? They want to be able to make that decision because if they leave it to us, they know what way we're going, innit?
Yeah.
Right. So when you understand that there's layers to government, right? There's the local level, like local politicians. Then there's the governmental level. Then there's the international level, and then you've got the military and the deep state. When you look at it as a stack up like that, like vertically, you understand that there's a reason for why they're happy with 50-50 at home, but that's not the problem. The problem is what's going to happen internationally. What's going to happen with all the resources? How's it going to get divided? What is it all going to get divided 50-50? How's that going to work?
But that's another point as well. That's what I'm saying to you. So without rotating presidency or having enough of a say, so for example, if another thing was to happen in Cyprus internationally, where the ROC is going to make a deal with a country that the Turkish Cypriots are not happy with based on religious views or whatnot, I know the country's obviously going to make the decision based on the greater good of the country's economy and benefits, but you have to consider that there's two different ethnicities on the island with two different religions. And that's another issue. That's what I'm saying.
Many split Muslim and Christian countries, Albania, Bosnia, Lebanon, Iran. It's not the first time that you're going to have a country that's got split religions. So.
But yeah, no, I agree, Michael.
I never thought the problems in Cyprus were religious based. I'll be honest with you. I think it's more Greek Empire.
Exactly. I don't believe that as well. I don't
think it was about religion. Personally. So when it
was all about greed, bruv. That's all it was. Greed.
Religious Turks.
Theo, not fully and not equally, unfortunately.
So Mems, you just said you agree. So what do you think the problem is then, Mems?
Do you want a hot drink, Ish? Do you want a hot drink?
Yeah, go on then.
Hot chocolate, please.
Yeah, 2 sugars. 2 sugars on the tea.
I'd like one. Michael, you handing out drinks rapidly, are you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not based on a religion. Cyprus problem.
What's it based on?
No, it's not. It never was.
No.
What's it based on?
Well, let's put it this way. Is the Turkish Cypriots really religious? They're building mosques everywhere, but they're not really religious. Go to the mosque and see how many Turkish Cypriots are in there. I lived there 6 years, yeah? I still live there. I'm here on holiday for 4 or 5 months now. And they do 5 times a day prayers, but there's no one in the mosque like Turkish Cypriots.
It's the same for Greeks. Greeks, you know, it's portrayed like Greek Cypriots are really religious, but really we're culturally religious. We
Yeah.
go for weddings, funerals, and memorials. That's the only time we go to church, and maybe Easter.
Yeah.
So we're not actually religious. We portray ourselves as religious, but the younger generation are not religious at all.
No. That's right.
Alpha reunification is a solution for me. It is a solution for me as well, but to look like you said above, TCs wants 2 states and GCs want reunification. Believe it or not, TCs also want reunification, but the problem is, and like I've said for the past 20 minutes, they're not being given the respect of a co-founder of a republic, and that's the issue.
Alex, when the GCs were accepted to, or the ROC was accepted into Europe, right, as a part of the EU or whatever it is, why did they keep the government set up the same where there's like empty seats where Turkish people are meant to be sitting? Why didn't they just scrap the whole thing, make a new government, enter it into the EU as a Greek state,
because
and
it
just
gives
leave
them
the Turkish part as a no
gives
man's
them
land?
power in the international law to keep saying what they're saying about the Turks being on the island and the TRNC not being recognised.
Okay, so when we look at it
the way they want it.
when we look at it that way, in a democratic framework, every population has to be represented. You can't have people without a state.
Well, if you read the constitution, it also says that one can't run the country without the other. It's against the constitution. Can't make decisions and can't run the country, but the ROC seems to be doing perfectly fine without the Turkish Cypriots.
Oh, you mean the EU constitution saying that?
No, I'm talking about the ROC constitution. Under the ROC constitution, the ROC can't make decisions and make changes without the Turkish Cypriots' approval.
Wow.
And that's still in the constitution till today. And every change or everything
What's
that the
stopping
ROC
them from just
does,
dissolving that? What's stopping them from dissolving that and just making a new government?
well, they make a
Then that
mockery of it anyway.
constitution would be thrown out the window, wouldn't it?
No, but if they're just saying, listen, the North's occupied by Turkey, boom. We don't need to worry about these people. We don't need to worry about this land. On our side, we're going to make a government that gets us into Europe and gets us funding from the EU, and we're cushy. We don't need to worry about nothing else. And like you said, the current situation will then just carry on.
That's already been done.
It will just be legal.
That's already been done, and it's not legal and it's not recognised. That's the point.
What part of it's not recognised?
The TRNC. Are you talking about TRNC or the ROC? What are you talking about?
No, the ROC.
What are you saying about the ROC?
I'm saying, why didn't they just scrap the whole old ROC, make a new ROC where it's just they're saying, this is our border. We accept that Turkey has occupied the north. We're not worrying about that. Within our borders, we're having democracy. The Maronites are the minority. These are the minority. The majority is the Greek Cypriots, how they were voting. There's no seats for Turkish people on our panel. Why didn't they just do that?
I'm going to reply back to comments, Theo. So in practice, the state could have been paralysed. It's called the law of necessity. Yeah, a necessity that suits the ROC's narrative to keep the status quo the way it is. The ROC got what it wanted, and it's worked for them, because that necessity is bullshit. Because if you read the constitution, the decisions that the ROC have made and have been making is illegal. And it's not right under that constitution. So it's a mockery to the constitution.
Hear my argument, Alex, because it's one step worse than that, right? Not only are they invested in maintaining the status quo, but they want to have their cake and eat it. They're saying, we want you to come begging us to be part of this ROC thing and accept a minority status.
That's the problem. That's why
we need you to want that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Half a million. It's not like the numbers were back in the day. The numbers are a lot more evened up now.
To me, that's having your cake and eating it.
I think they're afraid of a bit of compromise. That's truth be told, I think they're afraid of a bit of compromise. So you need compromise. You don't do compromise.
I've said it, and I'm saying it again. The day that the ROC and Greek Cypriots can get their head around Turkish Cypriots, as they've been called, brothers and sisters and Cypriots, and we're all good and we got on, and it's all governments and it's all external countries, it's America, it's Britain, it's the bases, it's fucking Tom, Dick, Harry. All right. As the day that we can accept each other as equals and fully Cypriot and look beyond the Turkish and the Greek before this word Cypriot, we ain't going to be okay. The status quo is going to stay the way it is. That's
how many of you lived there before 74?
None, probably.
Me.
Weren't even born.
Oh, Sahil, sorry, apologies.
Me.
Yeah, sorry.
I lived there.
You remember, or was you too young?
I was about 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you remember, mate?
The villagers were all right, yeah? We had some good people in our village. But outsiders that used to come in, that's when we was frightened. Like, when the army used to come in.
Which army, man?
The Greek army. In 1968, 69. When they used to come round our village.
There was no Greek army.
It was quite scary because they had...
or the Hunda or
there was Greek army because
no, there was Greece from Greece.
From Greece.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something now. You see, before 1974, stop, because this is something that's not reported in history. Before 1974, there was Greek army and Turkish army in Cyprus. My uncle was unalived in 1963 by the Turkish army, not the Turkish Cypriots, the Turkish army in 1963.
Yeah. I don't remember Turkish army there. There was the TMT.
I'll bring you in, George. 1 minute.
Of how they tried to brainwash my uncle, and my mum even tells me a story of my bapu giving my uncle slaps because he was getting brainwashed by the Greeks from Greece. So they were maybe not officially in an official capacity, but the Greeks and Turks were both there before 1974.
George, what were you saying about the army? I think George had something that
I come from an area where Grivas, not far from Grivas's village.
Ish Mimsy, wait.
One sec.
I was seeing some historic facts, I think. Michael, in 1960, there were 650 Turks soldiers, 900 Greek soldiers. After summer 64,
can't hear you, George.
Yeah, George, you're breaking up. But when you guys say Greek and Turkish, are you talking about mainland?
Mainland.
No, Cypriot. Oh, I'm not sure.
We call it in Greek. 650 Turk soldiers from mainland and
got your answer there,
950 Greek soldiers.
You think they both weren't taking those numbers?
He's talking about mainland soldiers.
Mainland.
Yeah. They were both probably taking the piss with the amount of personnel they had inside.
I can't hear you, Michael.
I said they were both probably exaggerating the numbers. You know, they said.
I don't believe Turkey had soldiers there before in 74.
I've never heard that.
Denktash used to go to Turkey and get few A4 machine guns and all that, but not. And then they never used to hit the target.
Yeah, Michael, I have to be honest. I've never heard of any mainland Turkish soldiers on the island.
No.
Listen, my uncle has got a statue in the middle of Bafo City Centre. He's got a school named after him in Yeroskibou in Bafo, yeah? I've heard the story firsthand from my uncle that was there, and it's written in the history as well. If you want to look him up, Yanagis Daliodis.
No, bro, I'm not disbelieving you, but I'm
No.
just
I'm
trying to
just saying.
work it
I'm just
out.
saying.
Like,
Because
because
2 years ago when I went to Cyprus, I said
Yeah.
I'm going to sit down with my uncle, and I want him to tell
yeah,
me the story again, the full story. And I asked him, was it TMT? Was it Turkish
it had
Cypriots? He
to
said to me,
be
no.
Turkish Cypriots or TMT because the only like even in 1964 when Gochina happened 63 64 at Enco the enclave even then they came by planes and not soldiers. I mean all the fighters up in the mountains were all students that came
No,
back
they
from
say that, but
Turkey.
let me tell you how my uncle got killed
Following
first, so you
Cyprus,
understand.
following Cyprus independence on August 16th, 1960, 650 Turkish
Correct.
troops, the Cyprus Turkish Regiment, were stationed on the island under the Treaty of Alliance to protect the Turkish Cypriot community. These forces, alongside a larger Greek contingent, were part of an initial power sharing structure that lasted until intercommunal violence intensified in 1963.
Were
But,
they
but, but
mainland Turks or were they made up from
Alex,
conscripts
let me
of
tell you
Turkish
how my
Cypriot?
uncle lost his life. He got shot
Guys,
from a helicopter with a
can I
grenade
talk?
launcher.
Can I
That's
talk?
the
Wow.
last thing I've got to say. I just got to tell Alex that he got shot from a helicopter with a grenade launcher.
Well, that would have been Turkish then, yeah, because Cypriots didn't have helicopters.
So yeah, and I made sure I clarified the story
All
2 years ago. I went to Cyprus.
what it says is 650 Turkish troops, the Cyprus Turkish Regiment.
That was
Yes.
the
Marius is
students.
correct. After 1960, 650 Turkish soldiers and 950 Greek soldiers came to the island. After the bombardment of at Kokina,
Gotcha.
August 64, thousands of Greek soldiers, Greek mainland soldiers, came secretly at island. These left on December 1967. They left on December 1967. So after 67, just these regiments stayed in the island. The Turkish from mainland Turk with mainland Turk soldiers, 650, and the Greek regiment 950. But these were stationed in the camps. They didn't come out. They couldn't come out. Even now, the two camps are there. The camp of Turkish regiment and the camp of Greek regiment. Both now are held by Turkish forces at Könelli. They are both at Könelli.
Yeah. Okay.
Konyeli. Ne.
Mara,
I
did
was
you want to
there
say something?
in my service. I was there in my service.
Yeah, you
And
was there, George. You know better than all of us. But I'm just saying, like I've made sure I've
Mario,
got this.
Michael, I believe you, bro. Look, if it happened like you said it did, you know,
Look, it's actually it's well, you can't. You can only read what you can read in front of you from documentation online or whatever. What it seems to be saying is accurate, but we're not flies on the wall. Like,
exactly.
you know what I mean?
There's a possibility that what you're saying is true because you can't say it ain't because it's proven that there was 650 soldiers on the island. So no one here categorically can say no to your
It's
story.
definitely established that Turkey sent 650 and Greece sent 950, and it's stated that it's known.
Either way, what does it matter?
As,
The guy shouldn't have died, whether it was from a Turkish hand or a Turkish
No,
Cypriot
no,
hand.
no. It's not
No
to say
one should
that.
have
But
died.
I'm saying it to tell you guys that the Greeks and Turks were meddling in it way before 19s. They were meddling, both of them. The Greeks were meddling. They were sending over soldiers to brainwash young Greek Cypriot boys, and this stuff was happening. You need to understand this stuff was happening on both sides. And there was Greeks from Greece trying to brainwash the Cypriots and take them down the wrong path. So this was happening. Because, like I said, I remember my mum even telling me stories of my uncle, and he was getting, brainwashed by the Greek military from Greece when they were in Bafo at that time. And she even tells me story of my uncle giving him bats or saying, "No, we grew up with the Turks. We're friends with them. Don't think like this." Like my Bapo was very, you know, believed in one Cyprus. So these things were happening. I can't speak for the Turkish community. I can only speak for the Greek. And I've gone and got these stories corroborated because my mum's told me these stories. I'm like, well, maybe mum's got it wrong. So I've went and asked my uncle who was there that day, another uncle, passing out. I've checked up on these things from first-hand accounts. But when I look online and I try and see about Greek involvement or Turkish involvement before 74, there's not a lot of information out there. And
Yeah.
these people aren't
I
crazy.
want to ask George or Mario what they thought of the talks last week between the two leaders. How did you interpret it? As positive, negative? What did you agree with? What did you disagree with? There's a reason why I'm asking this. I'll tell you in a minute once I hear back from you guys.
Mario, you want to answer? Okay, Mario, okay.
I would say indifferent. I'm not less confident or more confident of any movement forward.
Sorry, Mems, you got a lot of background noise,
I've
man.
muted him, bro. I muted him.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I said I'm not confident on anything going forward. I'm indifferent. It's just baby steps of what I've seen. I don't know what. No one is going to lay their cards out on the table till you lay your cards out on the table and start putting it to the public what you want to do.
Let me be more specific. What points didn't you like that Erdogan made?
I can answer this.
And what and why?
It's okay.
Go on, answer, George.
I said it a few nights ago. From my perspective.
From your perspective, yeah.
Okay. I think Erdogan proposing the acceptance of political equality as Turkish side considers it a problem, because I said again, according to my knowledge, in Crans-Montana there were two big obstacles to reach a solution. Greek Cypriot side asked zero guarantees, zero troops to start negotiating, and Çavuşoğlu asked for rotated presidency. And I said again, nobody took
George, you've gone a bit sideways. I asked you a specific question. What points didn't you like from Erdogan and why?
I will come to this, Alex. So the problem was these two obstacles. Now, before the negotiations, Erdogan is asking to take the only card that Greek Cypriot side has, the power. You have the recognition, the power, before the negotiation. So how can Christodoulidis accept, okay, I will give you this, and how I will negotiate later? I have nothing else to give you. I am asking for zero guarantees, zero troops as a starting point. But if I give you the only thing I can, the rotated presidency, so game over for us. So for me, they have to go to negotiations, yes, with a time limit, with a time ending.
I agree.
But with no preconditions.
I agree. There couldn't be a precondition to say that if these talks fail, you have to give recognition. I think that's stupid, and that doesn't bode well when you're trying to negotiate, because then it could sort of hinder the negotiations, because you can make it fail to get what you want. So it's not in good faith. I agree 100% with that.
This, because if you having a saying in Greek, I don't know if they use it in English. Damocles Pati, it's a sword, Damocles sword. So this means that you have a negotiation, but you have also a knife over your neck. So if you fail,
Memsy, mate, I'm going to disconnect this guy, mate. He's offering fuck all anyway. Go and speak to your brother-in-law.
Alex, straight up, man, straight up.
Seriously. Fucking unmutes, fucking doesn't say a word. I'm fucking 1 minute it's a night.
Speak your mind, brother.
Seriously, what the fuck? You're going to be on the panel, bro. Be ready to speak. Listen.
Alex, I'll drop for someone else.
No, don't need to, bro. It's nothing to do with that. It's just this guy.
I see Escape floating down there, man. Where is he at?
I'll jump down for Escape if you want.
No,
we've got space, Dahil.
That was a good combo as well. I don't even know where we left off. That was getting good.
George, finish what you were saying.
I was saying that Christodoulidis and Erhurman made some suggestions. I think 5 suggestions from Christodoulidis, 4 from Erhurman. For my opinion, to my opinion, it was a problematic suggestion to ask for.
I still Meresov, fuck's sake.
I'm sure he speaks Greek.
I don't give a
Sorry,
shit. I can
George,
say
go
it in fucking Swahili. Stay where you are.
Go on, George. Sorry, mate.
Okay. Anyway, I think I'm saying this too many times. I think they should go to the negotiations without preconditions, especially that one precondition, which is the most important.
I lost my chain of thought. I hear you. I do.
Why it doesn't? Why it's just it's nothing's gonna happen. Trust me, nothing. Why would you even come out with that in the first place?
With what?
There you go.
Why would you even come and say if we're not going to reach a solution, then you have to recognize this is my position.
Yeah, no, look, I agree with that. That, like I just said when George said it, it's not the right. I think that got maybe misinterpreted. I'm not sticking up for the guy. I think what he's trying to say is what George said, that if we're not going to agree, we need to. No, because he does say it. It's sort of like it's a tough one. I think he's just trying to put. When I listened to the Turkish interview that he did after press conference, he's basically saying that he wants things to be done in a timely manner. He wants that to be told to him in stages. He understands that there's a negotiation and each stage takes time. He said that he's happy to continue from some points in Crans Montana, but like a football game, for example.
You could come out. If you come out and say, look, I want a time frame for this and this to happen, this and this to happen, and I'm going to do my utmost to make sure that does happen, negotiate my best. Any meeting, I'll come to it, I'll do it, I'll be on board. Then if the other side doesn't stick to that, then who looks like the dickhead? But you haven't done that. You've come in like a ball in a china shop and come out with this stance, which is not a good chess move.
It's not, but you got to understand it from his perspective and what he's seen over the last 5 years. And not just 5 years, build up to 2004 with the Annan Plan and Europe. Turkish Cypriots have been screwed over by the ROC and by Europe. And as far as a lot of Turkish Cypriots see it, they trick their way into Europe. That's a fact, because all the foreign ministers of these European countries, including Jack Straw, came out and said it was a gentleman's agreement that they wouldn't do it, and they basically lied their way in. And once you got in, you couldn't come out. And the isolations on Turkish Cypriots were promised if there wasn't going to be a deal and there was going to be a no vote. And what happened to them? They still remain today. I mean, that's unfair. So you can understand he's seen all of this. So what he's trying to say is he just wants some sort of assurances that we're not going to keep going around in circles. I don't agree with putting an ultimatum in place, but I sort of understand where he's coming from, because every time these talks continue, we go nowhere, and then we have to pick up from where we left off. Then the next person comes in, they breed in new hope, and then we just go nowhere again. He just sort of wants come on, we're both men, let's get this sorted, let's do it in a timely manner. If not, are you going to,
I agree, and if you had worded it like you just did, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. Look, and that's why I agree with you guys. Having an ultimatum is not a good look. You're right. It's basically saying you could. It's not.
Yeah, but maybe Erdogan didn't want to waste 5 years of just sitting about and doing what Tatar did.
Yeah, but then if he gets the wrong answer and then he pulls back and sits there and does fuck all for 5 years, where does that get us? Nowhere. That's the point.
I understand your point. I really understand that you need a solution.
Yeah, exactly.
There is no isolation. I know this. We need also a solution, because I believe that in a few years, the North will be Turkish, full Turkish, will be annexed by Turkey. Perhaps not in 5 years, in 10 years. If a solution is
George, openly annexed or just undercover annexed?
Undercover, I think. It is going on right now. Even the water pipe or there is an independence to Turkey. There are Oscar Khan, I don't know if you know him, said that there are at least 300,000 people from mainland Turkey in the north. I mean, there is a Turkish population there who is becoming Cypriot, like Kara, for example. And I accept that he is a Cypriot. I can't deny for a person that he was born in 84 not to consider him as a Cypriot. I can understand this. So there is a problem, I believe, for both communities. If the problem is not solved in a few years, I think the North will be Turkish. Perhaps the South will, I don't know, it will be, will stop trying to reach a solution. I don't know what will happen.
Some of those that you just brought up are very unfair for Turkish Cypriot government to solve, because they all came from what happened 50 years ago, and it was inevitable that these people were going to come, have kids, live there, reside. So to put ultimatums on the TRNC to solve that problem as a condition under the BBF is unfair. It's a problem that needs to be solved by both, and I believe they did that in Crans Montana. They settled the settler problem. I don't know what the ins and outs were, but that was solved.
They didn't. I think at the Annan plan, there was a number. I'm not sure if it was 30,000 that the Turks.
No, George, I'm sure the settler issue was also touched on at Crans Montana. I know.
If you put it on ChatGPT, even there. There is no answer, but in Mavroyannis and Nami interview, I think Greek Cypriot side asked that we can accept the settlers, as we call them, but the analogy must remain at about the same level it was in 1960s. I think this is the proposition from my side.
So it's a bit unfair, though, George. You have to agree. Giving that problem to the TRNC and say, right, you need to solve this before a BBF. This is just one problem. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of other problems that both communities and leaders have to work with to resolve to make a BBF work. But this is a problem that I can't see a solution to. How? What do you expect them to do? What do you want them to do?
How can you put a timeline on people that are there from like 74?
Now they're just making it by the numbers. They're saying, look, like you brought in people to replace the people that you lost. Fair enough. I don't think you're going to change the demographic and become the majority just by bringing in new people.
That is the cost of what 74 has done, and we need to adapt to it. And you have to inherit the problem and find a solution that works practically, not just say we need to go back to pre-60. I mean, if I put £1 in the bank when I was born in the 80s, that pound would be worth flipping what, 10 quid now? Why didn't I do that, for example? It's the same thing.
I understand this, and I see it as a humanitarian problem.
That's the problem. It is a humanitarian problem.
I think it is something that can be solved. I'm not Mavroyannis, but I am saying what Mavroyannis said. I think it must be about the analogy of 1960, because I think there was no other counting after 1960, and now nobody knows the real number in the north. Do they know the real number?
500k, I believe. I think they did one 2 years ago, just about a year and a half ago. It was around 540,000.
John said 420 to me the other week.
Guys, in the last votings of September, 4 months ago, the voters were 230. That means that the citizenship of the North is allowed to 2070. I can't do the math exactly, but if the voters, so the population 18 and over, were 2037, I think, thousands. So the population with the citizenship, not the workers or the students, must be 300,000. So it is almost the analogy of the 60. Anyway, we are talking hypothetically. I don't know the numbers. For me, the big
Our
obstacles,
number,
as I said,
yeah.
But you do
Our
know
number is
that a lot of these people that have come in the last 20 years, they don't actually have TRNC citizenship. They're there on a visa, the majority of
I was
these.
just about to ask you that, Alex. So if
Yeah.
a
but they
from
vote,
Turkey
so
wants to
they
come and
don't
live in
vote.
Cyprus, what's the
So the
problem?
TRNC's been skeptical of this as a problem, and they knew that this will arise under a BBF or a federation. So they always had their mind on this. So they've never actually settled this problem within the TRNC. So this mindset of they're all there and they're classed as citizens is not true. Officially, in the north, majority of these people are on working visas, some sort of a visa. I'm not going to lie and say there isn't a lot that have been settled, but the majority of that
They
was
don't get their
before.
Kimlik as soon as they arrive from Turkey. It's not
Yes,
that
the
easy for them.
majority of those were pre 2004, but from 2004 onwards, they stopped doing it. They were giving them visas and whatnot.
So you're saying that the two main bouts of immigration from Turkey was the one in '74, then the one in 2004, and then there's like random Turks going and coming.
Yeah, from my
Just like how the
understanding, but
Greeks going and
Escape
coming.
would be the one to ask this question to. He'll give you the correct, like, he knows it better than me because I've heard him mention it quite a few times. Is he here? Is Escape here?
No. And George, we have to look at it both ways. We've got what 300, 400,000 population of foreigners in Cyprus as well. We've got a lot of Russians, Ukrainians. There's about 90,000 British.
But look,
These
I'm
people
going to
that have
quote
come
Master
before.
Gas here. Master Gas said also, if you see Turkish Cypriots as equal partners anyway, I know you don't recognize the TRNC. Are they not allowed to invite people to the TRNC like the ROC has done with Russians, Israelis, Iranians, all different walks of life? Do they not have that right to also populate their side, even though it's not recognized as Turkish Cypriots, as long as they
Of
allow it?
course, Alex, of course. But the issue it was that this population was multiplying
Simple,
the
simple answer
number
to
it
that.
was before.
Simple answer to that is whoever's got the dough, you're more than welcome.
To the ROC, yeah.
Yeah. You get God and passport. You know what I mean? Just pay the right
Look,
amount. No,
I'm
someone
not going to
else.
lie. Initially, it was a numbers game for the TRNC and Dentas. He wanted to bring people over to populate and balance out the population, but that tactic changed in 2004. And the reason it changed in 2004 is, like I said, they had one eye on a BBF and they knew this was going to be a problem. And I believe that the TRNC has a problem to the solution. And what proves that is they haven't given these people citizenship in the north. There is a lot of,
Exactly.
Alex,
I don't know the numbers, but there is a lot of Turkish nationals in the TRNC currently that are not
What about their
classed as,
children,
they
Alex?
can't even vote. And I tell you
What if they give birth to a child
I
and
tell you
they
my
come back?
proof. I'll get to that. I'll tell you my proof. Where the proof is in the pudding is if you look at all the votes that go on in the TRNC, the number is very minimal. It's about 150,000 people that can vote. And
I
if
think
if that number was
230.
higher, that would show you that they're classed as citizens. But clearly, the TRNC are not registering and allowing these people to vote. Now, if you said to me, well, look, when Erdogan was elected in, he was elected in by 400,000 strong, then your argument's valid. But the fact that it was only between 150 and 160, I believe, might even be 140,
160. I remember seeing it.
160.
160.
That look,
But the
there you go.
voters,
That says to
the
you,
voters,
Yes,
And don't
that
forget,
160,000
proves my
voted.
point.
don't forget the people that were born there and wasn't in the country cannot vote either.
okay.
Yes, exactly.
The voters that could vote, I saw it somewhere.
That
There were
answers your question,
2,000.
Michael. Sahil just answered it for you.
Don't they have a thing where they would meet where whoever's come over from Turkey to the northern part when
They
they've lived
can't
there?
vote, Mario.
Yeah,
Even the
but
ones that are
if they've
integrated and
lived,
married
let's say
can't.
if they've
No, but
lived
I
there,
asked about if their children get citizenship. So if two mainland Turks come to with a visa and they want to work in TRNC and then they give birth to a child, does that child get Cypriot nationality or it doesn't work like that? How it works
Pre
in the
2004, I would say yes. After 2004, I don't know. That's the truth.
It'll be
What's Cyprus nationality of
highly
the
irregular if you're
ROC?
born in a country and you don't get citizenship. That'd be mad.
I would
Guys, you
I
are
would say yes though. I would probably say yeah, they do.
You see, then you get the problem of, okay, we're going to keep the people from 74, but the ones that come after and gave birth, we're going to kick them out. That's
Not kick them
inhumane.
out, but put them on a
Can't be
visa
done.
citizenship.
Because then you're splitting families up.
Now they're not kicking anyone out. They're just
if it's the
not putting
case,
you in the
if it's,
in the same group of people,
I
like
think
demographically.
it's basically a play on votes, really. I mean, yeah,
It's
if
like
you've got
it's massaging the books. Technically, they're massaging the books there.
something along those lines.
Yeah, but look, the
But then
ROC,
again,
I get it from the ROC's perspective. They don't want to be, obviously, when it comes to voting, they don't want people voting who don't have the right to vote. I get that. And I agree with that. But to be fair to the TRNC, they've not done what the Greek Cypriots thought they would do, is make all these people citizens. And like I said, the latest vote in the north has proved that. The fact that it was 160,000 out of a population of 500,000, because yes, no one knows the true number in the north, but like I said, there was a report that they did do a sense.
How do we all know that in a solution or whatever there isn't a contingency of the island? They're going to be like, fuck it, I don't want this, I'm leaving.
Yeah, there's that as well.
I think there was a suggestion to give money for some people from mainland Turkey and go back. I think it was on another plan to give a repension. Αποζημίωση, Mario.
Repatriation.
Repatriation and the money. Αποζημίωση, Mario. Αποζημίωση. Compensation. But okay, another plan was not voted. Anyway,
Theo, all that matters, Theo. One sec, George. All that matters, Theo, because Tata said 500,000 means nothing, is what Simon's writ. That the fact that there's 218,313 people that could cast a vote and only 141,000 voted. So that would make sense with the numbers, because the other ones are probably Turkish Cypriots that live in the UK that are registered citizens in the north, dual citizens, and they weren't there at the time. And that number, 218, would make sense with what Caucasian or Michael said, with two nationals having a child in Cyprus that will be registered as a Cypriot. Because I believe that if two mainlanders came over to Cyprus and had a child, that child automatically in the TRNC would be a citizen.
Automatically be a citizen.
Yes. So that number of 218,000, as those kids get to the legal age of voting, will get higher over the next 10, 20, 30 years. It will jump from 218 to 230 to 240 and so on and so on. So it all makes sense.
What is the current voting age now in the north? I think it's 21.
Is it 21?
I think so.
Again, I don't know the answer to that question.
20, is it 21?
It's 21. You have to. No. Now it's not. Whoever.
I would have thought it was 18. No,
it's from 18 in my site. 18.
I would have thought it was 18 everywhere.
Okay. What I wanted to say is that I believe something different from you, Alex. I believe that the Turkish side can seize the greater number as a pressure tool for gain more power in a solution, because we were saying before that the numbers don't count for me, and I believe.
Why are they doing that, George? Why are they feeling compelled to do that? Because they always have to try and justify equality and being equal, and that's where we keep going wrong. I've repeated it so many times. The day that the ROC recognises Turkish Cypriots as equal and drops the minority and drops we've got more numbers than you is the day that we will live in peace and live happily as Cypriots and brothers and sisters. When you keep putting a number on the problem and when you keep saying, oh, you minority this, minority that, is why the island will remain divided. This is the mentality that needs to change.
But Alex, can you see from their point of view, they're saying either take a lower number than 50% and be a protected group and always be there in the same number.
No, it's never going to happen. They'll never accept it.
or
Guys, just a
be
minute.
50-50, but don't have any protected status.
I'd take the
Guys,
50-50 with no
just a minute.
protected status.
Yeah, but in 2, 3 years, 4 years, they would have bought you out. They would have.
They won't,
they
because
could.
under the BBF, it's 20 years or something that the northern part of the BBF area
Yeah,
cannot be
but that's what I'm
bought.
saying. That's a protected status, right? So
Oh,
you can't
well,
have it
it
both ways,
depends where you're
innit?
talking protected status. Is it protected status like the EU offers certain races in
Yeah,
countries
yeah,
within the
yeah,
EU?
yeah,
Or is
yeah,
it to
yeah.
do with the proper? I think it's two different things.
Guys, just a
In theory,
minute. Political
go on,
equality
George.
doesn't mean numerical equality, and I believe this is accepted by the Turkish side. In 1960
Yeah.
constitution, there was a percentage for the government, for the police officers, for the army, for the ministers. There were, I think, 3 Turkish Cypriot ministers and 7, I'm not sure, Greek Cypriots. The number counts, even though we consider communities, not a minority. This is important. Turkish Cypriots, according to the constitution, are a community, not a minority. That gives them some more privileges, but it's not numerical, arithmetical equality. The numbers count. This is according to UN also. If you see I think it was in 11th of December, I'm not sure which year, Greek Cypriots accepted political equality, but numerical equality numbers will be different because this will
Hello,
violate
the donkey.
democracy.
Wagwan.
Say the numbers count. It will be unfair for the majority. If, for example, can we get the numbers small? Imagine that you have a country of 100 people. 30 of them are British and 70 of them are French. And you need 20 people in the army, 30 people in the army. You can't take from both communities 15. It will be unfair.
There's no
This was a
need.
problem.
There's no need for a standing army anymore. The National Guard is
No,
only
No, he's
there.
it
giving an
was an
example.
example. It
I
was an
know, but I'm just
example.
saying the National Guard is only there because of the
No,
ceasefire and the Turkish
it was a
equivalent.
general example. For
Under
example, my
yeah,
friend.
I know, but I'm just saying under a solution, all of that will have to go anyway. The National Guard will have to go,
For me,
and the Turkish equivalent of the National Guard will have to go. And what it will be is like the UK, for example, where you join the military and you're
Alex.
paid
He's
for your
not saying
service.
that. He's not
I
saying
know
that.
he's
He's saying,
not. I'm
imagine,
elaborating more.
Alex. Imagine. I've got a girlfriend, right? She's got 2 kids, and I've got
Bro, I
1 kid, and
got
we're
what
going
he
out.
was saying.
And we're going out for dinner.
I wasn't countering him. I was
Are
just
we going to pay
adding.
50-50?
I was
That's what
adding.
he's trying to say.
Well, yeah, because I hear a lot of women want equality these days, and they should pay half. Why not?
Bitch, they should pay everything, man. Why not?
Up there.
That
I got
mindset
the magic stick.
of the 40s where a man has to be a gentleman and pay for it. I mean, all I hear is all these women these days that don't want that anymore. Make your mind up. What is it? You want gentlemen's? Or you want to be equal and pay and be like, yeah, I can pay, I'll work. That's another situation that's confused. That's more confused than the Cyprus problem.
Wallahi.
But Alex, didn't we talk about it about the army thing the other day? The easiest solution is Cyprus to become part of NATO.
I agree. Yeah, as long as the BBF is all done and dusted and everyone's happy with how the federal government's going to function and taxes and whatnot, of course, yeah, NATO would make logical sense for the island, 100%.
I do have a question. I heard today that Tuf Energyman had the press release for the first 100 days in power, right?
Yeah, he went to Turkey, didn't he?
Was it in Turkey or was it in Cyprus?
He went to Turkey as well.
Okay, because I haven't heard anything of what he said.
I only saw a little clip of it in the morning where they were saying 100 days of power at the moment. But I didn't catch all of the actual thing.
So did he say anything or?
To be honest, I was so busy. It was just like I was popping in and out of the house, and the TV was on, and I just steered the bit where it said, "Oh, Erdogan in Turkey, 100 days of power, well, being elected." But I didn't really have time to actually sit and listen to it.
Okay.
Going back to my point is the equivalent of National Guard will have to go. The Turkish National Guard have to go, and it will have to be like the Navy in Britain, the Air Force, a paid role. So if you want a career in the military and on the island, you get a job. Simple, and then you get trained, and it sort of equals it out and balances it out. And then there's no, there's nothing like a volunteer's heart to do a job that you know you're getting paid for, but you're putting yourself at risk. I mean, they don't get paid great here. I think the average soldier in the UK gets about 14 grand a year, believe it or not, when they join up as young kids. But they're not doing it for the money. So, yeah.
Alex, do you think it should be compulsory after the solution or not?
What, military service?
Yes.
No, military service has to go. On both sides. It's there for a reason now, which is understandable. Obviously, there's a ceasefire, so both sides need to have...
This is where we disagree. In my opinion, it should be compulsory, and both of the communities should serve together.
No.
This will help you work together instead of fighting each other.
No chance. The risk of it going the opposite is more high, if I'm honest with you.
You know that the first problem of ROC was the army. A few months after the new state was established, the first obstacle was how to build the army. The Turkish Cypriot side said mixed army, so different camps. Greek Cypriot side said, okay, mixed army, but in the same camp. And this was the first big issue which blocked the function of the state.
National
so
service.
I believe, my dear friend Doki, I'm not sure how can this be done. I believe this can be done after a few years after a solution is reached. Because
that's a great point, George.
In
that's a great
opinion,
and good knowledge there. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Caucasian. I can't imagine a Greek Cypriot and the Turkish Cypriot soldier together. How can be be done?
I agree with you.
The only way you could do that is have no army, no military at all, and the only thing is, if you're going to go with NATO, you'd have a NATO force army there.
Yeah,
that's it.
That was a great point. Someone
that's not a solution for an independent state or.
Well, yeah, but how are you going to have these people being at loggerheads for way more than 50 years, right?
And another thing, Cypriot Donkey, we're barely making up to reunify the island under a BBF. The last thing we want to worry about is having a military and worrying about other countries. We'll be fine.
You know what I think, Alex? Someone needs to get us from our ears and twist them and put us together to make up. We're like kids.
That's easy for you to say. You're a donkey. You've got longer ears.
Exactly. I'm a donkey. So we need to twist my ears and we need to sit down together and find the solution. Because we're kids playing in a big boys table, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So if someone larger than us, and I'm not talking about Greece or Turkey, comes in, twists our ears, puts us on the table together so we can make up, it's not going to be a solution. Someone needs to come and do this for us.
That country should be England.
The orange man will do it, I'll tell you.
It should be the UK mediating it, but they don't give a shit. They should be the ones at the forefront of.
They won't, because they don't want to antagonise the ROC and put the bases in jeopardy. And the ROC never push them out or complain about the rent they owe on the lease or the land or sovereign, whatever it is, because they need them there, because it keeps the status quo the way it is, and that keeps the British quiet, exactly where they want them. Whereas if the ROC was to pipe up and put pressure on Britain, you'd soon see how Britain would then change its tune and possibly recognise the TRNC or be more favourable with direct flights. But the ROC know what they're doing.
I've got a question for everyone. You have heard me several times discourage everybody not to talk about the past and find ways to find a solution that makes sense. But my biggest fear is for the foreign policy issue of any sort of united Cyprus, be that federated, be that unitary, whatever you want to call it. The regional complexities have changed, and the regional politics have changed. So I think it's going to be very difficult for any type of Cyprus of the future to decide on which foreign policy to follow, to join Europe or not.
The Europe or nothing. What's the other option apart from Europe?
I don't know. I'm sure
so this is what this conflating both sides against each other. It sounds very egalitarian, but really, like, you're undermining the whole process right now. There ain't no other way that Turkish Cypriots ain't going to be able to pick Turkey as a direction. Oh, what Turks are doing, we do that. No, Cyprus ain't going in the direction of Turkey.
I agree with you.
It's not even an option.
Simon,
I agree with you. That is
but
why
you're low-key saying, brother, you're low-key saying that the Turkish Cypriots will always side with Turkey.
Yeah. And I'm pointing this out not only for the Turkish Cypriots, but
for I'm like a sniffer
people,
dog, bro.
For example, I don't think Turkish Cypriots are happy about the fact that ROC have made a pact with Israel and Greece in the recent months and years. Obviously, foreign policy directions in the north differ. So I'm putting this as a question. I agree with you that it's going to be very difficult to determine which road this future Cyprus is going to take as far as...
No, there's only one option. There's only one option.
What's the option for the question? Oh, sorry.
It's a question I'm putting.
Let me bring Cypriot Donkey.
I don't...
But
the reason why I'm bringing
can I just bring Cypriot Donkey in 1 sec?
No, let Simon finish and then I'm going.
I'll go on then.
Yeah, the reason why I'm bringing we always give our opinions about things. For me, who wants a solution and sees the opportunities for a united Cyprus, it's difficult for me to give a solution to this. Like 5 years after, for example, or a certain period after a new system has been decided upon, and Crans-Montana and the Annan Plan have worked, which foreign policy would this Cyprus follow? It's a question I'm putting because I don't have an answer. That's why I'm putting it. I don't have an answer to it.
Simon, I think in terms of our foreign policy, it will be a very unbiased position because we have to respect all sides. But I wanted to ask Caucasian, what's the one side that you said there is only one solution to that thing? There's only one answer?
So I think that you're looking at a situation where the umbilical cord's going to be cut. Turkish Cypriots are going to be a minority in the EU. They're not going to be having this like luxury of being 50-50, half in Europe and half in Turkey. That's not going to happen.
Okay, aren't Greek Cypriots a minority in the EU?
What does that mean?
It means a lot. Aren't we, as Greek Cypriots, a minority in the EU? When you compare the whole fucking continent. Sorry for my language.
This is what I'm saying. This conflating both sides and trying to equalize things. It don't make sense, bro. Like, what are you ultimately saying here? You're like, land your point, because I'm not getting... I might be dumb in it. Land your point.
What we're saying is that we're part of a bigger fucking wheel and we decide our own fucking future. We don't have an umbilical cord tied to our belly.
Don't know what I'm saying to you. I'm saying, listen. You can't have a car. Listen. You can't have a...
But I need to finish my point. You can jump in. It's fine. We have a good conversation here. What I'm trying to say, you can still have be part of the European Union and still be tied with an umbilical cord to your motherland, for example. The Greek
Yeah.
Cypriots cut off that umbilical
Yeah.
cord long ago, very
Yeah.
long ago. And I said
Yeah.
that on the past lives, we
Yeah.
expect Turkish Cypriots to do the same.
Yeah. Am
Because
I being
you need to.
autistic, or are you just saying what I just said? Are you not
Who
just
is
saying
this?
what I just said? I don't
Yeah, but bro,
understand.
but Caucasian, you didn't let him finish. He was
But he's
getting.
saying what I just.
Yeah, but you.
Well,
But, oh,
I
go
said
on.
we had an umbilical cord, we cut the umbilical
yeah.
cord, and there's a lot
Yeah,
of
but
debate between the
the
Greeks and
difference
the
is,
Cypriots.
how long have you been in the EU? Since 2004, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
So
the
so
money...
so 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 do Turkish Cypriots as well.
No.
And
We
that's my
haven't. We
that's
haven't. You know we haven't
that's
been in
that's
that.
that's my next point, is that the Turkish Cypriots do benefit from EU funding. They play both sides, and they always come out on top. In a Greek Cypriot's perspective, that's how it seems. You play both sides. You get funding from both sides.
What funding do we
And
get from
you're
the
playing.
EU? How much is the funding that we get
I
from
don't
the
know
EU?
exactly, but you're still getting money without contributing anything. The Republic of Cyprus does contribute an amount to the European Union. You don't contribute anything, nothing, zero, and you
So
still get
recognize us.
funding.
So recognize us then.
And you still get funding.
Yeah, but
You
Donkey,
So
who's?
recognize us then.
But hold on a minute, Donkey.
Alex Mo,
Can I
I'm not
just say
trying to
something?
be. I'm not
Whose
trying
choice was that, though? The ROC was not supposed to be put into the EU under the Annan
That's
plan, and they
Alex
were still
Mo.
put in. And
I understand, Alex Mo.
if you look at the requirements for joining the EU, the fact that Cyprus is at a ceasefire actually breaches a condition. The
I
ROC
understand.
shouldn't even be
I
in Europe
understand, Alex
based on
Mo.
that fact as well. So
I
if they
understand.
want to fund money to the north, don't say it in a way where we've asked for it. You've put the situation on the table.
Alex Mo, I understand 100%. But if you don't want to be, let's say, a hypocrite, you could have said, no, I'm not part of the EU. But if you're getting free money and you're getting all the benefits, for example,
It's more complex than that,
of
Donkey.
course it's more
Because
complex.
of the way the island's division, those people can't stay
it's more
isolated. So
Alex Mo,
they're sort
I
of
understand.
forced to cross over and use the passport
I
to
understand,
access
Alex
Europe.
Mo.
So it's
I
more.
under-
There's more to it than what you're. I get. Look, I'm
I
not saying it's coming
understand,
from a
Alex
bad
Mo.
place, but there's more to it, and you.
Of course, there's more to it. There's always more to everything.
But the way you're
I'm-
saying it, it comes across like you're throwing it in our faces, and that's why I'm checking you a little
I'm
bit.
not
No,
trying
he's
to
calling
throw
us
it- I'm not-
hypocrites.
I'm
He's
not
actually
trying-
saying you're a
that's why I'm being
hypocrite.
more polite.
It is I'm going to get to my point. It's hypocritical because on one hand you say, I don't want to be part of this,
Yeah.
and then on the other hand sides you say,
Yeah.
I'm happy to get the money.
Yeah. That's contradictory. That's not hypocritical. That's called contradictory.
That's how I see kind of
Yeah,
a small hypocrisy. I'm not saying it's
Yeah, that's not hypocrisy, because the hypocrisy means you're going against your own standards. That is what you call a contradictory position, because you're being
that's what
forced
you're doing.
into that. But you're being forced into that situation, so you have to contradict yourself. Yeah,
So
Hold
being
on.
a
Can I
hypocrite
just say
means
something?
you're going
Tony's
against
put
your
here
own. Those going there.
688 million euros of EU funding. Who is that to? The Turkish side or the whole island?
That would be the whole island. There's no way the Turks have got that.
Because I'll tell you what, if that was the case, there'd
We'll
be
all be
more
moving back to
Mercs and
Cyprus.
Lamborghinis
And that is
on
the
north
whole
than there
number
was-
they've been given since they joined the EU as a whole. And that's been that would be broken down over the years. There's no chance that's gone to the TRNC.
Cypriot Donkey, you say that the umbilical cord between Greece and Cyprus has been cut off.
But you're both in the EU.
But why do you always vote 4 points in Eurovision Song Contest?
Exactly.
It's 4
points, not 12. Exactly. We give them 4 points, not 12.
Escape,
To be fair, Escape. You know, last year they didn't give
understand.
Greece top points. You know
Did
that?
they not? Oh,
No.
Well, for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Who was it? Ukraine.
There's a big beef between the Greeks and the Cypriots because of
not
this.
the last 2 years. It's true.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're never
right.
gonna forgive you, man. You know
I
what they
don't
say
know
about
everything,
Greeks?
bro.
They don't forget.
Weirdly, I don't know why I know these things. It's fucking weird. I'm like obsessed with Cyprus, Turkey, Greece. Fucking weirdo. Man.
Also, one second, why is Turkey not part of the Eurovision? Because I remember it was in the
They
past.
they got pissed off.
Come
so
out,
they
didn't they?
come
Because
out.
of Israel.
Erdogan
Yeah.
said it was too gay.
Yeah.
Like, fuck this pansy shit. It was when they had that winner with the mustache. You remember when that
trans guy.
Ladyboy.
Erdogan said that's enough of that shit.
You know,
Anyway, there were some international facts that the Cyprus and the Republic, ROC and Greece had different paths, and there were, especially, there was an incident. I can't recall now. It was about the maritime lanes in all over the world. I don't know the exact name of the organization. It is the global organization about the ships. I made it a little simpler. And Greece chose the Turkish representative and rejected the one who was proposed by EU, and it was a Cypriot one. This happened about 2 years ago.
What? That's crazy, George.
I will find it and write down the name of the organization. It was the global.
It's the naval one, right? Something about the maritime thing, right?
EU was proposing a Cypriot one among the other states of EU, and Greece, though Cyprus has an embargo for its ships and in Turkish ports, and Greece chose the Turkish one. The Turkish.
That's unbelievable.
Yes, unbelievable, isn't it? And now about that pipe between Israel, Cyprus, and Greece, I think there are contradictory propositions from Greece and Cyprus. I mean, I believe there is a connection, obviously, but many times there were different perspectives and ideas, and I think Cyprus suffered more.
Yeah, what I mean.
We always order pizza on the Eurovision night. Why not kebab in there?
Always. Love it.
I'm not gonna lie. I openly admit I enjoy watching Eurovision.
No,
I mean,
stop it.
Graham Norton makes it for me. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
When they do the voting for the points, and he goes, "Oh, good God, what is she wearing?" Oh, what?
Remember
terrible,
Terry
but
Wogan?
brilliant at
Terry
the same
Wogan used to actually cuss the
Terry Wogan as
people.
well. He was
He used
good.
to cuss them down. He's like, "What is this?"
A little bit too flamboyant nowadays, let's just say.
It's a little bit fruity.
I think,
You
sorry,
said it, not me.
Mary321 said Google said 760 million in aid alone to the TRNC since 2006. 760 million.
It's not a lot of money, mate, to run a half of that country. If you think about it, the infrastructure and whatnot, it's not a lot of money.
I don't know if it's that much.
To build a
but-
road here in England.
But it's still 20 years. It's over 20 years we're talking about. That's 20 years.
That's nothing over 20 years, mate. If I asked my council to fix a pothole, it'd cost them about £1,000 to send someone out to look at it, another 1,000 for a bloody report for the environment, another 1,000 to get parking permits for the truck to do it, another 1,000 for the shovel. You get the point.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think we should send Deloitte out there to do an audit.
But Andy, you don't need to, because
That's another
all of
question,
the
Andy. Where it goes is a different story.
Well, no, Alex, all of the information is on the website. So the EU is very transparent at where the money is sent.
I've heard you say someone say that before.
But the thing is, Alex, you're still getting money without contributing anything.
I already gave you a counter to that. You shouldn't even be in the EU based on their rules and regulations of how you're supposed to enter it. But you still are.
Are you opposed to the EU, Alex?
I'm not at all. In fact,
don't you benefit from the EU as a separate citizen?
I'm gutted that Britain voted Brexit. I mean, if I'm hoping
that was
this
terrible.
country would
Quick
have
question.
another referendum,
You
and
have
those
a-
idiots that voted out will vote in again.
Do you have an ROC? Do you have an ROC identity card?
Who? Me?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go. So you didn't miss
But I
out
have a
on it.
British one also.
Thank you very much.
Don't worry. Keir Starmer's going to make sure we're in it before he leaves, Alex.
Sorry, I had a few whiskeys, so I'm a bit on the.
I don't have it for the reasons that you think, though, Donkey.
Starmer ain't making it another 6 months.
Well, who's the?
So I'm sorry.
She's been dropping some one-liners, yeah, but who's the Kemi Bader not dissing Keir Starmer against him? You look really happy in China, but you have been a communist half your life. She dropped one on him, bro. He dropped one on him.
He's the worst leader of this country that we have. He's down. He's worse than Blair.
He's just too cringy, bro. Imagine him going out to China and going, I'm so happy to be here. And I'm the first man to be here in a very long time. And I think that needs to change. And the Chinese are just looking at him like, get on with it, bro. What the fuck are you here for?
Well, they just give him the go-ahead for a massive mega fucking embassy in London, haven't they?
Because
they're in the middle of a Cold War.
A lot of that 30, 40 million that's being floated about does go into stopping people crossing over to the south because of the European. You know how that deal Turkey got with Greece, where they got paid to stop migrants? I'm not saying that's the deal they've got with the TRNC, but they know that that money contributes to stopping that flow. And without it, where's the TRNC supposed to get the money from to cover that? Patrols. I know you got the United Nations there, but it's for patrols, it's for policing, security. Not all of it, but a big portion of it goes on that as well.
If anyone wants to cross that border, there's no stopping them. Let's be realistic now.
But that's not the argument, Michael. The point I'm making is a portion of those funds. I'm not trying to justify where all of that 30 million goes, but a portion of it does go on
30 million is nothing anyway.
Things out of their control.
You guys should, if you guys were recognised, you'd be generating that sort of money easy. So 30 million in a country like Turkey, you know, there's Premier League football columns. That's not even a fifth of their transfer budget in the summer, for God's sake. So
Oscar Bob just signed for bloody Fulham for 35 million. I'd never heard of him up until like 6 months ago.
Palace signed that last one for 50 million. He's got 1 goal this year. 1 goal.
What we forget to point out is that money is there to develop the northern part of the island. You know, it's not just for the benefit of Turkish Cypriots, it's for infrastructure. So if there is a deal, the people could come together without too many problems. You know, the roads work, the lighting works, the electricity works. So it's a lot of the money goes towards infrastructure for the benefit of the whole island.
Yeah.
But isn't it better that the money comes from the EU rather than Turkey paying it itself? Because
the money that comes from the EU is peanuts, man. Turkey give the TRNC 500 million a year.
I think the ROC's had quite a few billions of the EU. I mean, someone put down there it was 1.5 billion a year.
Exactly. Where's 30, 40 million and we're talking billions?
Of course. And
where are you there, Donkey? Speak up. What are you doing with them billions?
I'm looking at the comment because it was Kara that actually said that. It did say that the Republic of Cyprus gives 259 million euros. So we contribute 259 million and we receive back 462 million. But we still contribute. It's not free money.
Yeah, and so does the Turkish Cypriots that work in the south that pay taxes and shop in those shops, that buy European produce.
I agree, but what's the percentage of it?
I don't know, but it's not going to be a lot.
Bloody hell, this man, we ain't even come to an agreement, man's pocket watching already. Imagine.
But listen, Caucasian, my point is, you receive all the benefits without contributing anything.
I just made my point, Donkey.
What my wish, and you know me, Alex. I'm not.
I know, but Donkey, I just said to you, the TR and Turkish Cypriot citizens that cross over, that pay taxes when they work,
Alex,
when they put fuel, when they eat food, when they go shopping. You know, the ones that pay electric in their houses.
The Greek
I think,
Cypriots cross
Donkey,
over
this
and
is
then
something
put petrol
you're
and
not
buy as well.
probably
When they go
accustomed
to
to, as a
Jumbo,
lot of Western cultures are, you know, because in a lot of Western cultures, you know, if you come to the UK, for instance, there's a lot of people that don't contribute a penny in taxes and they get everything given to them. And I think maybe in Cyprus, it's just not a phenomenon that they can sit well with.
So what are you
the
saying?
stomach.
What are you
it.
saying? It's a benefit
You know?
system for us, or saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
It's a
them
benefit
scamming it.
system.
What?
You know, and
Are you serious?
what do you mean?
So you're saying it's like a benefit system to Turkish Cypriots?
No,
You just said
misheard me,
yeah.
man. No, you
But what is
misheard
your
me.
point then? I don't understand.
The concept. What I'm trying to
That's the
say
way I
is,
just understood
what
it.
I'm trying to say is, in Western economies, right, like ours,
Yeah, I
France,
get
Germany,
that, but why have
Netherlands,
you assimilated that to
you
Turkish
have
Cypriots and not
I didn't
contributed?
brand it them as such.
re-articulated, though.
I'm not picking at them as such, but I'm saying there is a system where you can have the ratio, the income, the tax paying ratio
bro.
can always be a lot higher than the minority. It can lower than the minority than the majority. That's all I'm saying. It's just I
I think
think it's something
Andy's
they're just not
experienced
used
in
to.
finance. We have to understand, like he knows
No,
these
I
get
think
things.
it's
good
just something they're
benefit.
not used to out there because they're used
Just
to
so you
like
know,
they all pay in and they all
I'll give you
contribute
the
and they get their
benefit
share.
of that,
bruv, it's not
Andrea.
like England, bruv.
It's not like
He's a
that in
resident
Western
expert on the
societies.
subject.
In Western societies, the dependency ratio on taxpayers is very hard. Look at the man. We've got 20 million taxpayers in the UK
He's got a
against
point.
70 million people. That the population. That's all I'm
That
saying.
can't be
And I think it's
right.
something they're not
Andy. Did you say
used
only
to.
20 million people are taxpayers in the UK? That
Can't
can't
look
be
it
right.
up.
My guys,
20
my,
mil.
I,
So you're
I
telling
think
me
you,
50 mil are unemployed?
Listen, why do you think the VAT is going up every year on your petrol and everything, year in, year out? There's a
So you
reason for
think
it.
out of a population of what, 60 million, you think only 20 million are working and the 40 million are on the
Michael,
dole?
you know last year, you go and look this up. Last year in 24, sorry, not because 25 has been released. The tax revenue took in around £4 trillion, right? And you do realise about nearly 60% of that went on social and welfare for
Yeah,
our
but that's
country.
not to say that
Yeah.
there's only 20 million taxpayers. Even if you live in a council house and you're on the dole, I mean, or you're getting child support, whatever, you're still
Yeah,
Look,
Panop's
what I'm
right. A
trying to
lot of
say
these
is the
people
Can I
get
dependency
just,
ratio.
Can I
just
just
to
add to
clarify?
You're
this? One sec,
misunderstanding what I'm saying
Escape.
here.
Let me just add to this. Look, Panop's right. It's in work benefits. So, for example, if you've got a mum who's working part time, she'll get paid a top up of a full time wage. Or, for example, you've got
Yeah.
people with disabilities that still continue to work but can claim DLA, for example. DLA is not a benefit
exactly.
that
Yeah, that's
stops
the
you from
government's fault,
working.
though, Andy.
No,
That's
but
the
that's what I'm
government's
trying to
fault.
say is like I think
Cool,
not
Pip.
There are
everybody
high
who
numbers of
pays in.
people that claim benefits and still work, and rightly
Yeah,
fucking so.
It's
yeah.
not their
But what I'm
fault that
trying
the
to
money
say
they're getting
is,
is not
I
enough.
think
It's
what
the
Cyril
government.
Donkey's sort of saying is that everyone who's paid in only gets to deserve it, but it's not like that in a lot of economies in the West.
Well,
It's
just
not
to
like that.
clarify the
People don't need
funding.
to.
Just to
I think
clarify the
target
funding.
specific people.
Andy, just to clarify the funding in the TRNC, because the EU doesn't recognise the Turkish side, that money doesn't actually land in the pockets of the Turkish Cypriots or to the administration, to the government. It's managed by the EU and it goes to EU designated private companies that carry out the work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so do you
Thank
understand?
you,
So
Escape. Alex, Donkey can sleep well tonight. Then now knowing that,
so that should allay
that
any
was going to keep
fears.
him up tonight. That one.
Just in case you thought the Turkish Cypriots were living it up in
And if you go to Famagusta and you see the old castle, you'll see the plaque there with the EU flag on it, and he'll explain all of that to you.
Who is that
And you'll
guy?
see
Who is
all
that
of the
guy?
foreign workers. I believe the ones working on the Famagusta wall in the castle, they were Spanish when I was there 2 years ago. Literally Spanish workers.
Habla español.
Do you not remember that guy we had on? Was it a few weeks ago? And he said that during the war, that the Turkish soldiers, they were dancing in the nightclub. They were partying. I don't know. I just remembered that. It just made me laugh.
No,
Yeah, I think I was on that line.
my point on the
They were having a party.
my whole point on this funding and all this BS stuff. We need to find a solution for everyone to benefit, guys.
Cypriot Donkey, can I ask you a question? You say that the Turkish side, the north side, gets all the money with all the benefits without contributing at all. But wouldn't you forget? Yeah, that's our basic human right. But what I'm saying to you is, so when you use that, when you use the ROC passport as a leverage, that's our basic human right. So
But I
what I'm
can
saying,
say the
let's
same
put that to the
thing,
side for a
Master
minute. I'm
Gas.
talking about the payments. I'm just
Master
talking
Gas,
about the
where are the
payment.
Greek
What
Cypriots
I'm
human
saying to you
rights?
is the payment that comes from the EU. Have you ever thought for a moment that that could be actually helpful and beneficial to the ROC as it keeps the problem alive?
Alright,
If they
guys,
don't give
I
any money to the TRNC and are therefore left completely as they are under Turkey, that would give Turkey more rights to just annex. The fact that money is pumped into it and that fractional amount as well, have you over 20 years, actually, which doesn't do much, it keeps the problem alive, which
And
is
that
what
money
you
is
should
being
want.
used on things that you do
No,
benefit
but
from and will benefit
but
from
it's not what it's
eventually.
being even used for,
guys,
Alex. It's the fact it's
I
being
don't.
given and
I
it
know,
keeps
but
the
it's being
problem
used.
going.
Most of it's being used to
Exactly.
refurbish monasteries,
That's
cemeteries, old artificial areas like the Famagusta Wall, for example, places, things like that. And
Alex.
that's all
Is
for the integrity of the island, for the
Yeah.
future,
Alex,
I
preserves it.
right?
I agree,
Everything
but
that you just said, write a list, itemize it, send it to Donkey because he wants to
Well,
know every
listen,
bit.
I went to
Alex,
Screwfix and bought some
Caucasian and
caulking
Master.
decorating cork with one part of it. Then I went to Tool Station and bought a hammer. And then
I mean, can
Man
I
wants it
just?
itemized,
Wait,
I
man.
no,
mean,
no,
He
no.
wants it
Alex, I just
itemized
want to
thing.
clarify something again. I mean, in the chat, because a lot of
No,
people are
but
saying that this money does go to Turkish Cypriot SMEs. You need to understand that Turkish Cypriot business is very, very different to the business that is carried out in the
tenders, they have to do
ROC.
tenders, mate. 3 of them, 4 of them.
Well,
Well,
not just
why do
that.
they give it a space?
Hold
I
on,
mean, why do they give it?
But hold on, I'm just going to make a point that's just going to sort of shut everything down. Turkish Cypriots cannot trade with the world. We cannot trade with anyone. We're embargoed and sanctioned and
Yep.
oppressed and unrecognised. So our business is very, very different to what the ROC does. We don't have SMEs. We might have a small family business that open up a kebab shop or a little restaurant or a coffee shop. These are not multinational businesses, and we don't have a chance to build them either. That's the truth.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
Can I put
Get
my
right,
point in?
Can
Donkey.
I also say as well, see these small businesses and thingies, when there is a company, they do a tendering and it's like 3-4 companies that will go in. And when I tell you something, these people get audited. There's been companies in the north that have literally stolen a little bit of money from the TRNC government and they were literally embarrassed in the media. It was publicized. Look into it. It's facts. They don't mess around, the government in the north, like that when it comes
Well,
to companies. They can't take the piss.
Donkey wants to
Uh,
say something to me. Go on, Donkey.
yes, but I agree it's your basic human right, and you should receive that freaking passport and the ID. But you can't forget the basic human rights of Greek Cypriots in the on their properties in the north, and you are denying them that right.
Hold on.
You
But they're
are.
two
No, no,
different. They're
no,
two
no, no,
different
no.
situations.
But Alex,
We are
one
not
second.
denying
Alex,
them that
I
right.
need to be fair, and I'm very fair with everyone.
But
Okay.
they're two different situations,
No, it's
Donkey.
not two
No,
different
hold on,
things.
Alex.
It's not two
You
different
know what
things.
you're saying, Donkey, is really strange. Because what you in other lives and most lives, you will say, if you want a better way of life, come over to the south. But now you're going to sit here and say, what about the Greek Cypriots on the north? They're struggling. Where's that rhetoric of coming
No,
over
I'm
to the
talking
south?
about the Greek Cypriots in the south that had property in the north, and they're denying that right, that
Yeah,
basic
but
human
that
right to
happens
their
to the Turks
property.
as well. That's the Turkish Cypriots as well. They've lost property too. Now I guess you're going to argue me on numbers now.
The difference is, Master Gas, within the south, you are still holding to your property. It's still under your name. In the
Okay.
north, it's not. You gave it to someone else and say, no,
But we
whoever
can't
had more
get no, but we can't get
No,
it.
but you can't
We
deny
can't.
this,
No, but we
Master
can't.
Gas.
No, but okay. But we
You can't
can't get.
deny this.
No,
You
no, no,
created
no, no, no,
you
no. I won't
you
let you. I won't let you just keep saying the same thing
but
over until you make
but
me agree with you. You won't. What I'm saying to you is we can't get our property on the south, even though it's ours. We are not getting it. We go through all
He
the same
acknowledges that
hoops
though,
as
Gas.
the right. But then don't bring it up then because we've both
He
got the same
no, but
struggle.
he
I
Your
have
acknowledges that. But
argument.
what he's saying is that the Turkish Cypriots properties in the south are protected. They're only given
Yes.
leases and rented to
Yes.
ROC
I
refugees,
understand.
whereas in the north,
Yeah.
it's sold, it's developed on,
Yeah.
it's been given new title.
Yeah.
That's the point
And
he's
they
trying
are
to make.
arrested when they enter the ROC
Yeah.
when discovered, correct?
Yeah, but they've had to do that. That's what
yeah,
he's
but
I'm
saying
not
to
one
you.
arguing it.
second,
What
one
I'm saying
second,
is there's
Master
a
Gas.
repercussion.
So 1 second, Master Guys, you're allowed to do so. You can come and develop the land on someone
No, I
else's
didn't say that
property.
they're allowed to do that.
But you say when they're arrested when they come to the ROC side.
Yeah,
But in the
because
north,
they know what they're doing is wrong.
But
it's fine.
Cypriot Donkey, you chose the wrong subject, because if you look in the recent media lately,
Alex,
I
I'm
think there
just
was
trying to make a
over
point. I'm not
200 violations found by people subletting and people changing the structure of the building. It was actually in the Cyprus Mail last week, funny
Alex,
enough.
I agree.
The
There's a
ROC
lot
did
of
an
corruption.
audit of all
There's a
the
lot of
Turkish
corruption.
Cypriot properties, and
There's
they
a lot
found
of-
over 400 combined with subletting, extensions, all sorts of stuff.
I
So
agree,
the
but
system in the
it's
south
under-
is better than the north. I agree, but
not
it's
better,
bad
but
as well.
If you've been following the recent news in France, a high court has dismissed
Well, I saw
Republic
it.
of Cyprus's claim
Against someone.
Yeah, against a Turkish Cypriot property developer for extradition, and has actually told the ROC that they have to go through the IPC,
Because they're not
which is a Turkish Cypriot.
they're not part of the EU, right?
Well,
Yeah, that was their reasoning.
It's a new ruling. I haven't read it fully, but
I read it.
They said that because you're not part of the EU, because you're trying to go against something that's not part of the EU, they don't have any jurisdiction, to actually do anything against it. But guess what? On the back of that, just hopefully this will make Cypriot Donkey happier. I don't agree. By the way, that you know what I mean. If people are doing wrong, then they should be punished. Do you know what I'm saying? People are taking land. That shouldn't be the case. People should. I want everyone who lost their land to be compensated double. Yeah, like that. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. But what I don't like is when you throw in the faces of us that we give you a passport, and I'm meant to say thank you. And I won't say thank you. I deserve it.
I respect you for saying that, and you do deserve it. And I respect you for saying that.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say on one side, we protect your property, and it's still under your name. On the other hand side, we sell it. We create a new land registry. People come and buy it, and we have no rights to our property. I don't want compensation.
Turkish Cypriots have that same
This is the thing. This is the thing.
I agree, Alex. I agree.
He's saying he don't want compensation. He just actually wants his original land back.
But let me.
But Turkish Cypriots can't get their original land back either. That's the problem.
But
if it was so clean, then I mean, there's taxes against those properties in the south.
In a good time, hopefully everyone's land will be returned.
Who holds the taxes? Who holds the taxes and all the rent that's been, being paid for those land in the south? The government does. The person who owns that land in the south can't come there one day.
He's the irony in his position. If they didn't do what he's saying, right, and they went the Turkish route, they wouldn't have got access to the EU and the EU funds. Because they're claiming they represent all the people, right? So they have to maintain our lands there. They have to maintain our
Caucasian. I actually agree.
But the thing is, they're getting money for doing that. They're getting EU money up the bum.
No, but they're earning. Not only that, they're earning the rent off the land. Caucasian.
Guys, 1 second.
Yeah.
But we did this before or after 74. It's not we didn't sell it or develop the land after 74.
No, but what I'm saying, Donkey, in the nicest possible way, the nicest way I can say it to you is this, when you sit there, I mean, I wasn't going to come up, but when you say that, you're getting money from the EU, even though we've just identified it's quite measly in terms of how what a country needs to operate. When you say, look, you're doing that and you're contributing nothing, it's a little bit of a underhand attack, right? And what you're not recognizing is, you don't sit there and think to yourself, they're doing it because it keeps the problem alive for the ROC. It keeps the whole thing alive so that they can say, no, look, there's got to be a solution here. We're going to fund that.
Guys, do you know what it's like? It's like you're divorcing your wife and then you're complaining that she gets the child benefit. Like, what the fuck?
That's what I'm saying.
You just kicked us out, bro. Like, we're out on our ears, right?
The kids still need clothing. Do you know what I'm saying? The kids still need
Master Gas, is that your missus in the comments? Look, fucking hell, man. This guy even knows your pattern, bro. I'm just winding you up. Look. Isn't it time to get your treadmill out, Master? This
don't
guy
like me.
fucking
Nah.
listens to your
That's all
schedule,
right. It
bro.
How
means
do you know
I'm
he's not on the
popular.
treadmill right now? You don't know that.
No, I'm just saying that you've got to be
No.
listening to like
I can't
Eddie's
see that comment
frequently.
though. Oh
You
yeah,
can't see
Sisto.
it.
Yeah, Sisto don't like me. That's okay though. I like haters.
Shisto.
It means I'm doing well. It's Cisco, isn't it? Cisco.
No, Shisto. Shisto.
Yeah,
Shisto.
His
yeah.
storm, man. It means fanny in Greek.
Oh, is it?
Listen, all I'm saying is,
I thought it was Shishko.
we
His
need
storm.
to you need to figure out the reality of things. I mean, everyone wants Turkey off the island, right? Everyone wants Turkey to go. Turkey's putting in a pipeline that will be ready by 2028 to the north side. Okay, to pump through, and that energy will also be sold
Did you
to the
ask the
south.
Greek Cypriots for that?
No, there you go.
Taxi. So why are you
Yeah.
complaining when the Greek Cypriots?
I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm a two-stater.
Guys, let me ask you a question.
I'm a two-stater. I'm
That
not a
pipeline-
unification guy. I don't think we can live together.
Guys, that pipeline that you're saying, yeah, does it get protected by the Greek side's Iron Dome?
So again, what?
The Turks are putting in the pipeline, yeah,
Yeah.
to Cyprus, but is it going to come under the protection of the Iron Dome that the Greeks just put in?
Nah, it'd be the steel dome. The iron one's their one.
No, because I want to know, because if Hezbollah tries to bomb our pipeline, I want the Greek side to protect it.
Do you know what it is? Listen, the bottom line of it is this. The longer you allow this to continue, the more grip they get on the north. That's the simplicity of it. It's like, let's go another 50 years. Let's do this. Like, the EU's even supporting you. Like, they're even helping you to say, listen, like, we're even giving dough over there to these people. You don't need to hurry up and find a solution. And then there isn't one. Do you see what I mean? There's nothing going on. We've even voted for someone that wants it. And then all of a sudden deals are made with the
thing,
country.
Though, I think that Turkey, right, is saying we're ready to just start spending big dough, yeah, but you lot are stopping us. So, like, give us the all clear. Tell us that there's not going to be any solution. Go with the two-state, and then we're going to pave the streets with gold. We're going to build pipelines, bridges, everything. Like, it's going to be amazing. The north side's going to be like the Muslim Monaco, right? Turkey's ready to do that, but they can't do it because there's all this, like, it's all up in the air sort of thing. Like, oh, what's the solution going to be? Turkey's
you really
ready.
think they're going to put Cyprus first before their own tourism industry? You really believe that?
So they're
going to paint Cyprus with gold.
It's just extra.
And put the Cyprus first before their own tourism industry. Never.
But there's extra. But like I'm saying, it's just extra. And it's like you've got 3 wives. I'm saying to you, you can have 4 wives if you want.
Yeah.
You go fuck it. Let her come.
You know what it is, right? People, even in your own family,
Wait a minute.
even in your own families, guys, you have children, right? And does everyone really think that all children are grown fairly and equally? They're not. You have children at different ages in your life. You have children at different financial situations in your life. One person's a boy, one person's a girl. But every child grows up differently, even within the same household under the same parents. And that's even in your own family. That's just a psychological aspect of it. We're talking about a people, on a country, and we're all talking about the rights and things, and everyone seems to forget, and they don't want to accept that 50 years makes a difference. It really does. It provides change completely. We can try to find the fairness through the trees as much as we want, but 50 years is 50 years, and it has changed the status quo for both people. Yeah. So, as much as we'd all like to go back to 63 or 60 and whatever have you,
Zoff's gonna close it up, guys. He's got to go.
Do
you want to leave it open and let it close naturally on its own, Zoff, or
it's up to you guys, man. As long as you lot are comfortable with it just cutting off.
Don't know, stuff. You got enough clips? You all right for YouTube and that?
So, mate?
I'm saying you good. Are you okay?
Yeah, man. For YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, bro. I mean, I couldn't
listen, stop. I can throw in a few controversial statements if you want.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Me,
Caucasians have an argument for you.
You and the 30 viewers is all good, bro. It's all good on the YouTube. Don't worry. It's between me, you, and the 30. Don't worry. They're good. They're repeat customers. Don't worry.
Yeah. I like that.
It's all right, guys. As long as you lot don't mind it cutting off, I can just let it be. But if you going through like a convo or something. It cuts off.
Only if
It's
Alex
annoying,
is
isn't
going
it?
to moderate and stay,
How
otherwise
long
it's
does
going
it
to be a
take? How long
fucking
does it take? How does it
bloodbath.
stay
About
live
an
for,
hour.
Sof?
I
About
don't
an
know, to
hour,
be
I
honest.
think.
Don't
No, it's
know.
about 10, 15
You got to
minutes.
do that puzzle. You got to do that puzzle thing if you're inactive for more than, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, half an
It's
hour.
all right. Close it. I'll open it. It's
Yeah,
fine.
that's
Go
what
on.
I'm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's easier.
All right.
All right, boys.
So
Thanks,
you're gonna
Sof.
start
See ya.
when you
All
want.
right,
Nice
guys.
one, Sof.
Cheers,
Come
mate.
over, Donkey. Come over.
I will stop.